and Poole and Wiseman for last year. There's definitely blame to go around on those two.
Yeah.
That
Nah.
shit infuriated my soul,
No,
bro.
I think there's plenty of blame to go around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do think that there's plenty of blame to go around.
What's good?
Jordan should shoulder some blame though, because they did give him more responsibilities, and it's like I don't know that it worked out so well. You know what I'm saying? Like they asked him to do something, and maybe that's not his fault. But they asked him to do something that didn't. I don't think he really did before. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where it fucked up. Jay Francis, what's going on, brother?
Going on, man? It's all work right now. You said Ricky said something crazy.
Yeah. So but it was pretty good actually because he came on and he was just talking about, and I do agree with Ricky in the sense that people get blamed, and I think they get blamed unnecessarily. You, you know what I'm saying?
I'm with that. Okay. So what he's talking about pool? Because
Yeah.
I mean, if he's talking about pool, I won't say it's all his fault, but I can see where he's coming from, where it's not all, but where it's he did some good things. But way I see it, I always do pros and cons. So if you did more cons than pros, then you absolutely should get blamed.
Yeah. So there were, bro. I don't think they put. I'm probably going to blame Steve Kerr more than anybody else because I don't think he put them in a position to succeed. Right? So I think that's what it really were they put in positions to succeed? I don't necessarily think so.
Urkel, I agree with you because, like, Ricky also talked about this, right? It was like a big F you to the front office from Curtis saying, I'm not playing these. Like, we had Kaminga, Jermichael Green, and Wiseman out there at the same time. That was never going to work no matter
Yeah,
what.
bro, that's wild.
And, like,
Yeah.
it was like Kerr was like, no, fuck this. I'm not playing the young guys. We're riding with the core. And it was just like a big F you to Lacob and, like, the front office. So Kerr kind of sabotaged, like, Draymond's punch kind of broke up the chemistry. But what Kerr did at the beginning of the season really, like, fucked everything up. Like, there was just no coming back from all of that. It was just too much at once.
Here's my thing, right? Because we want to say the whole Steve Kerr didn't put him in a position to win and stuff like that, right? If
Yeah.
we want to look at the context clues, who is the one person that left that this entire season? Bill Lacob's still there. Steve Kerr is still there. Bob Myers is gone. Why? Because he decided to do stuff that he decided. It was his idea to get wise. It wasn't Kerr's idea. As you see, he wanted Halliburton. He wanted to do that could fit in his system. Now you get a bunch of people that don't fit in his system. I feel like Steve Kerr wrongly. I think he just put a middle finger to the rest of the front office and said, "I'm not going to play these people unless you give me people who you're going to build around." Now all of a sudden, this offseason, you see CP, you see Sarge, you see all these dudes that can play in his system. So I feel like he shouldn't have strong armed them to do that, but he's not wrong at the end of the day. Like if Kaminga is worrying about playing time and all this stuff instead of winning, then that's just I don't know. Kaminga could have helped us against the Lakers. We should have at least got to this. That's all.
Here's the thing with me for the regular season, right? Like, because I do agree, it's if we were to put the blame on one person, it's Steve Kerr. But like at the beginning, he was doing some fuck shit, right, with the second unit and playing the young guys. But then after that, it was just like dominoes after dominoes kept falling, right? Like we finally get a little bit of a rhythm, get to 500, and then Steph Curry gets injured. Wiggins was nicked up, right? And now you're ending up playing. You're basically, not able to get above 500. So now you kind of have to come to a decision.
Hey.
Are we going to make playoffs?
One thing not many people talk about is why were we so ass on the road or why were we bad overall defensively was because Wiggins was gone half of the year. You guys have to understand, right? Clay is no longer that dude defensively. So what Clay was for us back then, that's Wiggins now, guarding the best guy, right? Dante was playing Wiggins' role, right? Dante's amazing, but he's no Andrew Wiggins. Point of attack was horrible this year, right? And we didn't have GP. Kaminga wasn't really playing that much. But you saw when Kaminga played, he was able to, try to guard the best. Like he did do a good job that 5-game win streak at home. But one of the reasons why we were so bad on the road was because of Wiggins, right? Like he does just so much for us now that's also factor that I don't hear people say that much.
I mean, I generally agree, but we were bad on the road, right? Even while Wiggins was here, and
Yeah,
that's
that yeah, but
that's
like yeah,
I
we,
mean,
but
we
like
Wiggins
he
didn't
was
just
play
there for
missed
like
so
defense
five
at
much.
all
games, but I
on
get
the
what you're
road,
saying. I get what you're saying.
right? Like
This,
it. I mean, the bottom line was we didn't play defense, right? And obviously, when you had the crowd behind you, etc., right, it's easier to play defense and at home, familiar environment, etc. But yeah, like there was just a whole bunch of shit, right? Like obviously Wiggins missing time was one thing, but Steph also missed a bunch of time, right? Clay
Exactly.
couldn't play back to backs. We were resting all of our starters on back to backs and playing only the young kids. And then at eventually you get to like December, November timeframe, right, where it's like, all right, playoff seedings are kind of starting to they're starting to become a little bit more concrete, right? And moving up on the standings is becomes harder and harder as the season progresses. So now you're kind of at a crossroads of okay, even if you come into the season with a plan of developing these young guys, if these young guys aren't having you win games and you're struggling to get above 500, now the crossroads is that all right, are you going to
Exactly.
play these Anthony
Yes.
Lambs, right? These Ty Jeromes who might be able to potentially win you one or two games, uh, at the risk of not developing your young guys, right?
Yeah.
It's
It was just
it's a very and then
horrible, horrible
right, and then
situation.
in between that, right, you also have injuries happening to core guys, guys missing time. So now it's like you're just solving a puzzle that keeps changing every time. New variables come in. So like that also really contributed to how well, not to even mention the on top of the defensive issues, just figuring out the rotations also becomes a challenge now too because you know obviously it's a trade-off of developing the young guys or trying to win games, and
I think
clearly both the ideal scenario is both happen, but clearly both weren't happening, so you kind of have to end up picking a side.
Yeah. Yeah.
that, and
Horrible.
I honestly think like after we won the championship, a lot of dudes thought, okay, we can just, which is always the wrong approach to take the season. Yeah, we can just sleepwalk through the regular season. And doesn't matter what seed we are, we're the champions, stuff like that. And people just
Yeah.
weren't playing for their roles. Like play,
They,
like
they
you're
they
a
could just
catch and
like
shoot
flip a
guy.
switch.
When have you ever been a like play or catch and shoot guy? When have you ever been a hero ball guy? Why are you trying to win the game when you have Steph Curry on the court? Like it doesn't make sense. Like so, and that's the thing. Like yeah, I understand. I feel like this year, once people understand their roles, if CP of all people can accept a six-man role when he's been a starter his whole career, that's going to set the tone for the whole team. So everybody's going to know their role, play, catch and shoot. Steph's the fucking superstar.
And I think that has to happen organically, right? Like you can't just like I think that's part of the reason why they've been tiptoeing around it the whole season is, or this off season is, you're not just going to say to CP3 like you're coming off the bench, right? You're going to get on the court. You're going to see,
We'll be fine.
okay, if it works with you in the starting lineup, and if it doesn't, then that's where that
This
organic
is
part
crazy.
happens, right?
This is crazy talk. Why would you have to see if it works on the court to see if it's going to work? We just played 3, 4 small guards and it didn't work. This dude is almost 40 years old. Why do we need to test that?
He's
No,
off
no,
the bench.
Bruce.
He's off the bench. He's
I,
not coming.
I
He's
don't
not
think it'll
starting.
work,
Starting.
but you're not like
See what I'm
I
saying?
find it hard.
So here's the point that I guess I'm making. If we're saying, like Jay is saying, if people know their roles and if the coach knows this, dude, we just got embarrassed in the second round. We should have won that series. And we're going to test theories that we know are not going to work. It makes no sense, brother. It makes
Like
no sense because we did the same thing with James Wiseman and then we blamed it on him. And we did the same thing with the other young guys and we blamed it on them. So it makes no sense to play games when the time is now. Now is the time to win.
no, Bruce. So here's the thing with me, right? Like I find it hard that you're going to convince somebody who's been like Ricky said, right, who's been a starter to come off the bench without any actual like proof, right? Obviously, when I say you're going to test it out on the court, I'm talking about training camp, preseason, right? Maybe even like first 5 games of the season. Once you have that sort of proof of like to CP, like it's all about convincing CP3, right? Like and the team in general of all right, is this going to work? Can we win games this way? Okay, We've, tested it out for, let's say like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and it's clearly not working. Now, you know, here's if let's try coming off the bench. Is this working? If it's not working, then you got to trade CP3
You
in
guys, you
halfway
guys,
through the season.
you guys catch me up, man, because everybody's been in my DMs. I've been working all day.
So
Why is
Shadow,
everybody? Why is everybody turning on CP3, dog? Like I'm
because
confused.
Ricky G came in, bro, and he just lit the torch.
No, but
It,
why you turn?
Now
I've
no,
never,
forget
I,
the
hold on,
I've
so-called
SB.
never,
investigating.
I've never seen CP3 wet the bed with a team throughout the whole
No,
season
SB. To give you a
in the playoffs
synopsis,
because of.
to, to
Okay, go ahead.
to give you a synopsis, since that's what you asked for, basically by the time I came in, he was asking the question, did we get better by adding CP3 and subtracting Jordan Poole? I guess in a vacuum, he's saying yes, because you don't have those turnovers, but he's saying no at the same time because you got smaller and you got a guy who can't stay on the floor from the standpoint of pretty much he's older. He can't. He doesn't have an impact on the defensive side, and he plays at a slow pace. And the conversation went everywhere from that direction.
No, man, but it's like probably 25 people's in my DMs asking me to jump in spaces what I think about CP3. Like, at the end of the day, like, I get it, guys. We have to see it work. But I'm going to trust a top five point guard of all time. It's
Thank
not
you,
like
Shadow.
he
Thank
didn't
you.
he didn't jump off a cliff. He didn't drop off a cliff, man. Like we're lying to ourselves. And
Urkel.
and I'm going to tell you this right now. Jordan Poole and CP3. Jordan Poole's two tiers under CP3. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys.
Urkel. That's why when you kept
He's two
asking
tiers
me
under CP3, man. And anybody who
By
doesn't
next
think
year?
so, he's two tiers under. Jordan
Shadow,
Poole's two tiers under
Shadow.
CP3.
Sorry,
Yeah, I don't know
sorry.
about all that.
His statement wasn't also necessarily against CP3. I think he was also mentioning about the issue of the Warriors is about playing Draymond too.
I know, but my thing is like it's one thing to get better. It's another thing to get better by addition, but it's also better to get better by subtracting. And subtracting the turnovers, which Corey Joseph and CP3 does. By subtracting the fouls, CP3 is not a foul merchant, and either is Corey Joseph.
Yeah,
By
but
subtra-
Shadow. Here's one thing that
and he's a ten
he.
times better defender. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be honest with you. CP3 is probably the third or fourth best defender on our team.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
That's not good then. What the
Here's where I
But what are you
agree with
talking about? He's a top 20 defender in the NBA.
Chris Paul was not a
who.
good defender last season with the Suns. I don't know
Oh
what
my god.
basketball you
Wait,
watch.
who's a
He
top 20
wasn't.
defender in the league? CP3?
Are you
Like,
fucking 100%?
are we back on the Hornets? Bro, he was
No,
not a good
let me.
defender
No.
last
It's not
year.
about back on the Hornets. Look at Phoenix. You think it was Mikal Bridges that was just the only person holding up that thing? He's the leader in percentage of steals. Steals is defense. Turning over the ball is defense. People don't go off on CP3. You see CP3 get hunted and get killed.
In the playoffs,
You
I did.
you've
Like, the
witnessed
whole
that with
game.
your own eyes.
Well,
Yes,
with
in the
Luca,
I've
playoffs.
never seen that in my life.
Only with
Luca
Luca
Luca.
still
kind of
got
No,
did
For
that.
the past 2 years,
No,
he's been
Luca
hunting
did
in the
it to Devin
playoffs. Like,
Booker.
let's
Luca
not do
did
this,
it to
bro.
Devin Booker, not CP3. Guys don't lie in the
Oh my
man's
god.
name.
Oh my
He
god.
did it to Devin Booker. He did not do it to CP3.
Shadow, they were kind of hunting CP as
They
well
were
that
like, we don't gotta
series.
No, they
lie.
were
They were
hunting
hiding.
Devin
Like
Booker.
Brunson
Oh
and
my god.
Luca,
No,
they
they
were
were hunting
hunting him
Devin.
in pick and rolls. They were trying to get them like Luca was trying to get CP on him and like ISO. Like let's be for real here.
Bro,
Like, we outside.
CP3 is a better defender than Clay. He's a better
Hey, but Shadow.
he's a better
Clay,
defender than Clay. Yes, 1,000,000%
Bro,
but
Shadow. I feel like
Clay's
you're gassing it right
Six
now,
We're
seven.
Shadow.
gassing. See, I like Clay. I like Clay, but
This is
Clay's
this
Shadow,
ridiculous.
guy
Shadow, wait.
gassing.
You
Shadow, we
You know
gassing.
how
don't we
bad
don't have to do what Ricky
you
Shadow,
know
G
how
does. Bro,
We're not in
Shadow.
2015 anymore, bro. We're
He's
in
not the
2023
fourth
going on
best defender on
2024.
our team.
one
We
second,
got
one
Draymond
second, one
Green
second.
anchoring the
One
team for
second.
JPU, Jonathan
Stop
coming at
talking
Kevon
about
Looney.
Jordan. Stop talking about Draymond
Shadow.
playing anchor and all that. You guys didn't watch the games, man. Was Draymond Green guarding Fox? Was Draymond Green guarding thing? We're talking
Hold
about the
up,
perimeter, dog.
hold up. But
We're
Shadow, can I say
talking
one
the
thing?
perimeter.
Hold up, Shadow. Here, let me. All right. One of the strengths of the Golden State Warriors for years has kind of been like, I'll put it like Brazilian soccer, meaning they capitalize off the counterattack. Having said that, teams are now kind of playing similar and they're capitalizing similar because Draymond Green, his defender is still sagging off. So while we got rid of Poole, who may have been negative in certain rights, and while CP may be positive in many other, I still believe that issue is still there.
Okay,
You get what I'm
Bruce.
saying?
Bruce, let me ask you a question, bro. For all the CP3 naysayers, y'all
So
gotta name me 10 point guards better than CP3 off the bench. Like, off the bench, 10 point guards better than him.
no, I can't do that. I
No
can't do
one.
that.
Okay, then. Nobody, we can't. What are you arguing about right now?
But
No,
But
Why are you
Kev,
guys
if
lying?
What are
no,
we arguing
I
about right
can't
now?
I'm
believe you guys are
saying
lying.
if
Kev,
I'm
What are we
Cannot
saying
lying
believe you
about?
guys are lying.
hold
what
up,
we're
I
arguing
cannot
about.
believe you guys are. No, 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 no,
He
no. Hold
was
on.
not a good
Can,
defender, like, bro.
brother, you
Stop.
guys
Give
were
me this
talking for
country.
3 hours. Can I get in a word? CP3's defensive career rating is 105.5. Why are you guys lying?
Like,
no,
CP
SB,
always
I
is
was
on.
never
Career, bro. Come on,
hold
Are
up,
you
you
know better
guys
than that, bro.
fucking slow?
We are
hold
going
up,
on
guys.
a
Hold up,
CP3's
guys.
So
defensive rating is 105.5 for an
We
18-year career.
Shadow.
That is not a mistake.
So we gonna act as a group like Clay that wasn't assholes as a defender last year.
No, no, you guys are lying to yourselves. When has Clay ever been a 105?
Come on, man. Clay was always getting
Never
I
contradicted.
mind
mean,
his an entire career. Why are you guys lying, man?
Hey,
the
man.
the bottom line is right, like that.
No, 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 no. We're not
Essentially,
gonna gloss over this. Somebody put
Why?
out.
no.
Wait, why are you using career stats? Use the stats from last year.
What are you talking about? It's over a sample size over 18 years. That's the best. It's the best thing to use.
Yeah,
No,
but
because
he's also
he
38,
made
Even
it.
right?
Like,
even
thank
last
you.
year, he
Man,
wasn't
you
a bad
guys are
defender. He wasn't a
38.
bad
Use the
defender
stats
last year.
from last year if
Man,
you're gonna
stop
use
it, man.
stats.
He
Shadow,
wasn't a
Come on,
bad
shadow,
defender last
you're
year.
smarter
shadow,
than that, bro. Like, don't do that, bro.
shadow. Hold on, let me say
No,
this.
you're smarter.
Shadow,
Than CP3 has not
shadow,
gotten worse on the defensive
First
end.
of all, he's a
shadow,
better
Do you
shadow.
know
defender
how
Yes,
than
he
smart
Jordan.
this
has.
man
What
is?
He's a
games
better
are you
defender than
watching?
Jordan.
You've never
Wait,
watched him. You just say you've
wait.
never watched him
Let
in
me ask you a
college.
I'm
question. Let me ask
talking
you
Shadow,
a
about
question.
CP3 from last year. I'm not talking about New Orleans or the Clippers, bro. I'm talking
So let
about
me
what
ask
I
you a
saw
question.
last year. He got hunted, bro. Like, what are we
Yo,
doing here?
E-man. So
shadow.
Yo,
last
Let me
year, right?
say. Let
Last
me.
year, right? Was Jordan Poole better than Chris Paul defensively?
no.
Okay, man. So
Because
what the fuck
Jordan
are we
Poole
arguing
sucks on
about?
defense. No, here's the thing.
That's
Chris
essentially
Paul
his
and
point,
Jordan
That's
Poole
Kev.
the
both
whole
Yeah,
suck.
yeah,
point I'm talking
Jordan
about.
Poole
Kev.
sucks
But
The
less.
whole
You
Bro,
point
can't
hold
say
I'm
on,
Chris
hold
Paul is a
on,
good
hold
defender
on,
just because
hold
Jordan
on,
Poole isn't. That's not how it
hold
works.
on, hold on. Let me explain something to you, okay? Was the Phoenix Suns bench good last year? Was it?
No,
KD, no.
no, they were
No.
Not for
terrible.
Okay.
KD.
Was the Golden State Warriors bench good last year?
It should
No.
have been, but it wasn't.
No,
no.
no, but it wasn't. So can we agree that bench, having a bad bench, affects everybody's defensive rating? Yes or no?
yes.
Yeah.
Outside of last season, CP3 has never had over a 110 defensive rating.
Okay,
Never.
Shadow.
He's never
But
even had
saying
over a 109.
Wait, is this
He's never even
individual
had over a
defensive
108.
rating? Are you using
Shadow.
individual defensive rating?
Yes.
What are we doing here, bro? Like, you know, it's
Why
in
would we? What
quad
are we
stat.
doing? This is over an 18-year
You're
sample
supposed to
size.
use when the defensive rating when he's on the floor versus when he's off. You're not supposed to use individual defensive rating.
Okay, and it's even better. His defensive rating's even better.
Wait,
I'm
Shadow.
SB,
fine with I'm fine with that. Just
shadow,
don't use career stats. That was
SB,
my only thing.
Oh my god.
SB.
This
These
man,
guys.
hold
Hold on,
on.
SB.
Jesus
Everybody
Christ, man.
arguing a different point.
this
So I'm
CP3
just
going
trying
up
to
for
let you
y'all
know.
heads, man.
I'm trying to let you know I'm not arguing that point. My
Stop.
only focus, in the off season is how do we get Draymond Green to knock down threes? So his defender, because by NBA rule, if you're guarding the ball, you can stay in the paint. There's no defensive penalty. So this is the reason why we did the same thing to Sabonis, and he was ineffective. That's the reason why in the playoffs they were playing better with him on the bench. And in retrospect, they did the same thing to Draymond Green in the Lakers series,
But Bruce,
ultimately, which is why we were made null and void. So while CP3 is going to be a great piece, my question is, how do you fix the bigger issue that's been there
let
since
me,
Kevin Durant?
let me ask you a
You're
question.
not
I,
gonna
I was
get
just about I
Draymond to
was
make
just about to say
threes.
that it's been there since Kevin Durant, so they've been sagging off with him, bro. It's not gonna change, bro. It's not gonna automatically hit 58%,
Yeah.
39%. It's
Exactly.
not gonna
So
happen,
if
bro.
if Wiggins is not getting plays called for him, and if Wiggins is not, getting fed to get easier buckets, and we're getting shot at the gym by Clay, we could talk about Poole until we blue in the face or CP. It's going to be the
But
same result.
we already talk about Wiggins getting inserted into the talk about the offense now. So if Steve Kerr don't do it, then we shit out of luck, right?
Yep.
So
You guys are
we
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, like the thing is, right? Like, I don't think
Do you
anybody's
know the man
expecting
got on
Draymond
the
to be
team
able to.
because of Steph? Do you know Steph
yep.
told him to go get it? Why are we letting Ricky G and all these people fucking sidewind you, bro?
Exactly. Ricky
So this
thinks
is
he's better than
stressful.
everybody, bro.
Are you
Like,
fucking high? Do you think
I mean,
he's coming to the team without Steph's okay, bro?
That's what I'm
like
saying, Shadow.
I
Nobody's
think
coming to
it's
this team without stuff.
Hey
Well,
man,
but
as
what
long as he's
Ricky,
off the bench, I don't
the
care, bro.
Shadow,
That nigga
but
should
what
not
he
be
was
starting.
saying in
I know.
response
You
to
keep
that,
saying, okay, hold on. Are you guys trying to say that Klay Thompson's better than CP3?
For this team, yes, and you
yes,
know that. Yes,
as a
yes, yes.
defender, Shadow, come on, bro.
As
He's
a
a what
defender,
defender?
as a what defender?
Clay was the worst
Bro,
defender on our
CP3,
team.
I don't
What are
know
you
about
Part of
that.
the
CP3 is
best
not a
starting lineup
top
in the
20
NBA.
defender in this league at this
Neither
Clay
juncture.
wasn't
neither
part of
is
the
Clay.
best.
All due
Neither is
respect.
Clay.
Hold on.
He's a
Clay wasn't part of the best starting lineup in the NBA last year. You can't change that. Like
That
he's
wasn't because
starting.
of
Like
him, bro.
no, you can't debate that, bro.
bro. Listen to
Wait,
me, man. Let's not compare CP3 to Klay Thompson. Like we're not doing this, man. I know you guys have
Yeah,
admiration
Clay's
for him,
better. We know.
and Clay's better than Chris Paul.
Bro, he's
Good night,
40 years
guys.
old, bro. Let it
I'm
go,
cool,
bro. We're
man.
not
I'm
in
cool, man.
2015
Good
anymore,
night.
bro. Like, cut it out. He's 40 years old. Like, cut it out, bro.
Who
Shadow,
cares if
I
he's
think
40
Shadow,
years
bro,
old?
Shadow,
Like
When
Clay
the
Shadow.
hell?
Clay was part of the best starting lineup in
When
the
the
NBA last
hell?
year, and we want
Shadow,
Clay
He's
to
let
come
40
off the
years
bench.
old.
Like, it's not happening, bro. Like Clay started. Like, honestly.
Shadow. I think it's
You
fine
taking?
for us
Did you
Shadow.
watch
to.
Clay all season, man?
Nah, man. You
You
guys are
didn't
Let
lying
You
rewatch
said
on
me
Clay
this
all
what?
man,
season.
man. You
You
guys
let
are
me
didn't
just
watch
lying
Clay
on
say,
all
this
Shadow,
man.
are you
season.
Listen
telling
to
me
me,
you
boy.
want Chris Paul to start over Clay
E-man,
Thompson?
E-man,
You
E-man,
guys
E-man,
are
E-man.
lying on this man.
Did you watch Clay all season, bro?
Brother, I've never
Be a
seen
part of the
Klay
best starting
Thompson
lineup in the
drag a
NBA.
team.
I don't care
Bro, do
about
you
that
know
five-man
how
lineup.
good
Did you watch
CP3
Clay
is,
all
man?
season?
You care about five-man lineups. That's
let
the
me
most
just
important
Shadow,
Bro,
rating.
we're
add
not
to your
talking
point
about
too.
that, bro. We're talking about
That
Clay.
Shadow,
matters. He was part of the best starting lineup in
guys.
We
the NBA. You
talking
don't
about
change that.
Clay, bro.
Who
Did you
is
Yes,
watch
best
Clay
on
Clay
all
the
is
team?
season?
one of the
Did you
greatest
watch
shooters in the
Clay all
league.
season? That's
Yes,
my
yes,
okay.
yes.
So did you know he was a liability in defense?
Be a liability when you're part of the best starting lineup in the
I'm
league.
done talking to
That
you
doesn't
about
make
this
any
issue, bro.
sense. That
You're
doesn't
not
make any
making no.
sense, bro. Like, cut it out, bro.
You're
All
not
right,
being believers. You're not.
E-man's trolling. Yeah. But
No,
I'm
Okay,
not
you're
um,
not. You gotta
trolling.
be trolling,
Shadow,
bro.
Clay is
You
Shadow,
gotta be
starting,
trolling.
bro, and you know Clay's
E-Man,
You have
let
to
me
be
starting.
trolling, bro.
are you
let me
the
just
are you the
okay,
Magic
hold.
You have to
fan?
be trolling. What happened?
Ball
Shadow. I
Suarez
just
is
Do you
wanted to
Magic
guys
add
fan,
to your
bro.
point.
Oh, that's a
do you
different guy.
guys care about plus
Nah, Clay's
minus or
starting
no?
for real. Like y'all know that. Like
Do
stop
you
playing.
guys care
Clay's
about
starting.
plus minus or no?
Bro, E-man, you're crazy, bro.
Care about
Does does
results.
does plus minus mean anything to anybody or no? I'm just asking.
If you take it into context, yes.
It's
Okay,
indicator. It's
take
an
what into
indicator.
context? Why are we taking plus minus into context? Let's
I
talk
think we're
about
talking about like sample
Because
size, right?
that's what
Not a one
Ricky
game,
G
okay,
said.
not a
You
one
okay.
can't
game
use
sample.
plus minus in a sample
Yo,
context.
B.
But you can't though. He's right. Like
No,
No,
yeah,
he's
you
not.
can't just
No,
take
but
he's
if
plus
you're
not.
doing it for
minus,
five
bro.
No,
games,
he's
No,
it's
not.
stupid.
there's
Yeah,
a
No,
you're
lot
right.
of factors that impact plus
no, he's
minus,
not.
Shadow.
No, he's
Come on.
not.
You can't use plus minus
Urkel,
on a
oh
small
my
sample
God,
size. I
Yeah,
Urkel,
mean,
bro,
mathematically
you
makes
are
sense,
the
bro.
number
Like
like
one stats guy in this group. Why are you lying to your people, bro?
shadow,
Plus
Yo.
minus,
you
brother,
cannot use plus minus
brother, you
on
are
a five
losing your
game sample
mind.
size,
You
bro.
are
What the fuck are we
directly
doing?
losing your mind today.
Shadow. Let you can have as an individual
Shadow,
player, right?
what are
You
we
can
saying
have
right now?
No,
You're
hold
saying
on.
that we can use
I think
plus
Shadow's
minus
not
over a
talking
five
about a
game
single
sample
game
size?
plus minus. Shadow is talking about
Okay,
plus minus
how about a
over a
plus
season.
how about a plus minus over a 10-year sample size? Is
Oh,
that
sure,
fair?
yeah, that's
That's
fine,
what
absolutely.
Shadow's talking
absolutely,
about. Yeah.
bro.
That's a great sample size.
Okay, hold on. Do you guys know who the top 5 plus minus players of in the last 10 years?
Oh, I know who they
We
are.
got four of them.
Yeah.
Who
It's the
do you
Warriors and
so
Chris Paul.
We got four of them.
so why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are you allowing people to sway you from the brother? As a matter of fact, I'm going to double down. This team is going to be better than 2022
I said
because
that
of Chris
already,
Paul.
Shadow. I said that already.
Yeah,
I'm going to
we're just
fucking
lying.
double down. This team is going to be better than 2022 because of Chris Paul.
I will put money on that. Anybody want to take that?
Oh, I'm taking
This
that. I'm
team
taking
is
that. I'm taking
better
that.
than the 2022 team
How
because
much
of
we
Chris
talking,
Paul.
bro? How much we talking?
Offensively, defensively, and any which way but loose.
And I wanted to add to your point, Shadow, right? Because like I think the thing with Chris Paul, right? Essentially, even if you consider only the defensive end, is look, he's even if we say right, like, and he has declined on isolation defense, right? Um, even if we say he's as bad as Jordan Poole at isolation defense, which he's not, is that you're not gonna get these like
There
basically
hasn't been an NBA player alive whose isolation defense is as bad as Jordan Poole.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
It's never existed.
yeah,
Bro,
and
Jordan
like
Poole was top
the
five
thing is,
in
right? Like
fouls
even
and
if
drawing
that
fouls.
is the case, right? Like even if we stretch
I
the
mean,
truth,
committing fouls.
you're not getting these other fuck ups that are happen outside of isolation. Like I saw way too many times last year when Jordan Poole is supposed to hedge a screen and he would go way too far in one direction and
Thank
just let the
you.
guy completely ignore the screen.
Thank you.
Or Jordan Poole get caught up on off-ball screens, and now the guy is
He
coming
was
off of a
lost
pin
out
down
there. He was
wide
lost
open.
out there.
Or Jordan Poole not calling out that a switch or basically
switching too early.
yeah, or like missing a rotation, right? Like that stuff does not happen as often, if at all, with Chris Paul, right? So like just from that standpoint, it is a massive upgrade on defense. Like when people talk about defense and Chris Paul got worse on defense, they're simply talking about his ability on one-on-one and being able to stay in front of a guy, right? Like yes, that has declined, but all of this other stuff, right, that I'm talking about, that has not. And that's exactly why Shadow brought up the steal percentage, right?
Yeah, but he's
Because
gonna be playing
if
second
you're
units though.
yeah,
That's the thing. Second units.
if you're active and engaged in those portions of the game, that's how you get the steals. That's how you fight over screens. You cause turnovers, right? And Chris
Nisha,
Paul is still competitive and still does that portion very well.
I just got $5,000 pushing my car.
So like
It's cool.
when we're talking about this
Okay.
defensive bit,
Sun God,
You gotta
Sun
it's
God.
night and
Hold
day.
on, Sun
What?
God. Do you know how many times
Hello.
Chris Paul has been an All NBA defender?
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. It's like 6,
Who's still using
7.
all career
It's
stats, bro?
like I said. Do you know how many times Chris Paul has been an All Defensive Team player?
I don't know as
That
many,
crying.
It
but
wasn't 5, it wasn't 2.
it's a good amount, right? Like 6 or 7 at least.
I'm sorry?
Baby's Someone's crying, but
Who's
is everyone
baby is
okay?
that?
Oh shit.
Sun God, I believe it's.
Yo, my fault.
Oh my god.
That's my fault. Yo,
Kev,
my fault. My
bro,
fault.
I'm like, is someone okay? Okay.
That's me
But
crying when a
Shadow,
doctor
9
is playing
times.
on
I'm looking it up right
9
now,
times.
Shadow.
9 times, Shadow. 9 times. 7 times first team, 2 times second team as all NBA
Yep,
defense.
there we go. Yep.
Hey, Shadow, another thing I'll give you too, much of the concerns that Warrior fans have with CP in the postseason that has been a downfall for him situationally in a lot of different instances, that responsibility is not there anymore. Chris Paul is not even necessarily going to be consistently in closing lineups. He's not going to have to carry the load offensively or defensively that he had.
This guy's one of the smartest players of all time, and we're
Yeah.
and,
You know what I'm
and,
saying?
and we're
With all due
Oh my
respect,
god, you're using 3
with
years
all due
old.
respect, the last time CP3 was on
relationship
an all NBA defensive team was 6 seasons ago, though. So
Yeah, no.
take that for what it is.
and that does not mean
We're not even using Suns footage. This is kind of nasty.
how is it nasty?
This
How
is
is it
from the
nasty?
Thunder. It's not even from Phoenix.
Okay, tell me a guard who's better than Chris Paul defensively. Name it.
That's kind of loud. I can't hear you.
I'm
Drew
asking.
Yeah,
Holiday.
it's really loud.
Drew Holiday.
Okay, who else?
Patrick Beverly.
But let's
Patrick
compare it to
Beverly's not a
second
better
unit
defender.
dudes though. Shadow, let's compare it to second unit dudes though, because I think that's
No,
more
let's
fair.
not compare second unit. Let's compare
Ben
first.
Simmons.
Let's compare all guards. All guards. Is Luka a better? Hold on. Is Luka a better defender than Chris Paul? Is Luka a better defender than Chris Paul? Is Luka better defender than Chris Paul?
No, absolutely. Luka is ass.
Is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander a better defender than Chris Paul?
Yes.
Is John Morant a better defender than Chris Paul?
John Morant.
In 2024? Are you
Yeah,
talking
we're
about
talking about
2024?
we're talking about people who are other point guards who are going to be going at him or going against him on a next time.
Yep.
SGA is flying for
Talk
Suns
to
footage. It's not even a question.
Hold on. Look at the stuff that he's doing right now. I have the highlights.
Guys,
Man, you guys are
Can we at least use Suns footage? This is nasty.
This is not
This is,
athletic.
Talking like Chris
This is
Paul
all
is not
IQ, my
a
nigga.
bro, can we
top
at least use
five
Suns
fucking
footage? That
point
is
guard of all
Here.
time. You guys are crazy.
Look at the stuff that he's doing right now. This is like IQ stuff.
And that's against
Exactly.
starters.
Hey, Urkel, all this shit
Can we
is just
please
making
use
the
some
right
footage?
rotations, Urkel.
Yeah, bro.
All making the right rotations, bro.
Right
You
rotation.
know why I'm disgusted? Hold on. Hold on. You know why
Yeah,
I'm
that
disgusted?
guy is 9 inches.
I everyone's talking about Chris Paul's so small. I watched Fred VanVleet and Kyle Lowry backcourt beat the dog shit out of fucking our team. I went to every single game, beat the dog shit out of our fucking team. 5'9" and 5'11", Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet beat the dog shit out of our team,
First
and you
man,
guys will
please.
come tell me with your small guard bullshit.
Hey,
But
if we get
JP better
2020
though.
Y'all
Chris Paul,
niggas
we're
need to
sweeping the
get to
Western
y'all
Conference.
ass,
But
bro.
unfortunately, we're getting 2024 Chris Paul. So
Bro,
it is
it's
what it
not
is.
time.
Bro,
You
say
know
other
what's
players, bro. Don't say Chris Paul, man. Chris Paul is a generational player,
Oh my
one
god.
you will never fucking see again. His IQ, his passing, like any deficiency that Steph even closest to even has, Chris Paul covers that. Like Chris Paul is one of the greatest lob threats of all time, which means Andrew Wiggins, GP2, and all of these players are going to get Kaminga. All these players are going to get utilized from that standpoint. I do not want Stephen Stockton. I want Stephen light him up, Curry. I don't want Stephen Stockton. So I don't like those games 18 and 12. I'm not one of those guys. I want to see that man score 35
Wait, is
on
this
that
Corey
man's head
Joseph?
top. I
Is
want
that
to
Yeah,
Corey
that
see
was
Joseph?
Corey
CP
Joseph.
CP set the table and be a playmaker. We don't have playmakers on our team because as much as you guys talk about Draymond Green is a playmaker, he's not. That man can't fucking pass the shit. He's forever turning the ball over and telegraphing passes. CP3 is a generational passer, one of the top 5 to ever touch a Wilson, Spalding, fucking any type of basketball you could fucking think of. And we are fucking putting him down for fucking Jordan Poole because Jordan Poole had one good month on the Golden State Warriors, bro. You guys are
What's that thing
fucking
they
He's
say
at a
ludicrous,
about
bro.
spin right now.
what's the thing they say about IQ? The mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. He's like
Whether
crazy.
I personally think he's coming off the bench, but even if he starts, he's still gonna be generational, bro.
I'm gonna
It's
cry if
still
he starts, bro. I'll cry.
I mean,
why
if he starts, it can't be worse than Jordan
everywhere.
Poole starting. So
Y'all are
I don't think Poole
that's the
should have
bottom
started
line.
either. Like no one thinks Poole should have started either. I think the starting line we had last year was perfect.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like I'm saying, even if the case is that he does end up starting, it can't be worse than last season. Like
Brother, I
it's
believe in Steph.
impossible.
I believe in Steph just as much as anybody on here. But there's things that Steph is amazing at, and 98% of those things he could do. But when it comes to setting the table and getting guys like Kaminga, GP2, and those guys to rock, Steph ain't CP3, bro. And I love Steph. This helps our team tremendously because we were first in fouls and last in frequency. We have a fucking player that has a mid-range. Everyone's talking about Sean Livingston. Sean Livingston can't wear CP3's left foot when it comes to the fucking left fucking Nike when it comes to fucking the mid-range shot. He's elite. He's an elite pick and roll player, which we need for guys like Kaminga to utilize him to his full strength. We need like Andrew Wiggins with his rim pressure. We didn't have no rim pressure. CP3 covers up all those holes, man. Do not let this shit gas you because he's annoying, because he's a free throw merchant, and these things we need on our team because niggas can get to the line. CP3 is capable of getting to the line early and fucking often.
Whoa.
And as good as Steph is, we don't get those calls for Steph. So CP3 is a better at getting to the free throw line than Stephen Curry because he ain't getting those calls, and that is what we are missing. Our weakness on why we fucking lost that series is because our inability to stop fouling Jordan Poole, our inability to stop turning over the ball, Dante DiVincenzo in transition, Draymond Green passing the ball to LeBron. Like, we've gotten better. Like, what don't you guys get?
Shadow, can I ask you a
And
question?
nobody being able to make a decision outside of Steph.
I'm looking at some stats right now, right? Chris Paul shot 3 free throws a game last year, and in the playoffs he didn't shoot one a game. It's 0.6. So I don't know why you just have to lie for no reason. Like he doesn't get the rim.
Brother, the man didn't have space, and he got to the free throw line plenty. His whole career. This is a new team. He's never.
I'm talking about last year. Why are we using his career? This is
work.
a mistake we made last year. We were using like Clay is not the same he was like 5 years ago. Like,
I don't know why we keep dragging this Clay stuff, man. Like he's not the same
like,
player.
bro, like no. If you're gonna say CP3 still gets the free throw line, he can't even get to the rim one time a game. Like what the fuck you on, bro? Didn't shoot 1 free throw a game in the playoffs last year, bro. What are we doing here? Like he's not gonna solve the rim pressure. I agree with you on playmaking, right? I'm not gonna deny that. He's a better defender than before. I don't care that we got rid of Jordan Poole, man. Huh?
How did
Three
you
free throws a
define
game.
at the free throw line? I'm curious. I have not looked at the numbers.
Yeah, Chris
Playoff
Paul
was an
shot
outlier.
2.7 free throws last year.
Okay.
2.7. Like, come on,
What's his
like
free throw rate?
Steph at least gets 5. You said what?
Yeah, but what's his free throw rate? Like,
Oh, he can
what's the
shoot. He's
difference
young.
between
Yeah,
free
yeah.
throw rate and
83%. 83%. Oh, the free throw rate?
yeah?
E-Man. E-Man, chat's asking you what team do you support?
Oh, I'm a Warriors fan, a Bucks fan, and
Could
a
never
Magic
be.
fan.
Could never
A
be.
Bucks fan.
Could never be a
You're a
Warriors fan.
Warriors fan and a Bucks fan.
Why not?
Okay, so you're
Gotta
not
gotta
really
Your
a
keep the
Warriors
options
opinion's
fan.
open.
invalid, bro. I'm sorry.
No, he's a Warriors.
I'm not
Oh,
disagreeing with what
E-Man
you're
taps
saying,
in all the
but
time, bro.
you're not really a Warriors fan. Shadow,
E-Man,
Shadow.
I
One
think
of
this is
the
going over your head, E-Man.
let me ask Shadow something. Shadow.
Yeah.
So one of the
His free
one of
throw
the
rate was
issues I have
24%, Urkel.
with Chris Paul in the starting lineup is Wiggins at the 4. So Wiggins, the problem with Wiggins at the 4, I know he can get in the post and he can guard dudes.
Why would Wiggins play the 4? Put fucking
Well, I
Kevon
don't think.
Looney on the bench, bro. Like,
Well, that's
what
what
are
I'm
we
saying.
talking about?
That's what I'm saying. So Looney goes to the bench, right? If Chris Paul's starting, which means Draymond's at the 5, and Wiggins is at the 4. And I just don't like Wiggins. I feel like Wiggins is really compromised offensively at the 4 if he's at the 4, and he needs to
Bro,
be our second
Wiggins is
scoring option.
compromised
Why?
offensively only because he does not get the ball. He has a 19% usage rate, bro. Jordan Poole had a 29% usage rate, and he was on the bench. Okay? Listen, Steve Kerr has to do a better job of getting Wiggins involved in the offense.
I
And
agree, but I don't see him doing
CP3,
that. You know what I'm
CP3 is
saying?
going to get Wiggins involved in the offense. And that's why it's going to be a great marriage.
Why
It is
can't
not
Draymond go
very
to the
hard to
bench?
Yep.
see.
I could give you that, and especially
And
Wiggins is.
CP3 has developed players and developed all-stars. Bro,
Yeah, and look
we
at
saw
I
we saw
just don't
Blake
get why.
Griffin life after
yeah.
CP3.
And
We've
look
seen
at
it.
Wiggins's percentages on those high post fades and those turnaround hooks
Why
too.
we
Well,
always
I
trying to put
don't
Looney
get
on the
Yeah,
why.
bench?
but
AK,
those get
I don't
called
get why you said that.
once every 10 games, and that plays called the
That's the
elbow.
problem.
And
That's literally it's
Steve
not a
Kerr
yeah.
does not call those
That's the
plays.
issue.
Wiggins is not in the offense. Wiggins is doing 17, 18 points and was doing
Yeah.
20 something points in the Lakers series and the Sac series on some fucking ghetto buffoonery
So
just
Shadow,
because he's
you're
getting the
saying
ball at the end of the
Wait,
shot clock.
so
hold
Shadow,
on, hold on.
you're
AK,
saying
AK,
CP.
hold on.
Hold on one
Uh,
second.
no,
So you're saying CP. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm curious as to why you mentioned that Wiggins is compromised offensively playing the 4.
Literally usage rate. I think that he falls out of his spots, and especially with that usage rate going down. But Shadow is saying that basically, Shadow, if I'm understanding you correctly, that CP can overcome Kerr's lack of usage rate for Wiggins.
See,
Yes.
Basically,
CP
Yeah,
okay.
and he
CP's
will.
accommodating for increasing his usage rate, Wiggins' usage rate.
Everywhere he's
Okay.
gone,
Okay.
he's
I can understand.
leveled up players, man. And I think he's going to level up Wiggins. I think he's going to level up Kaminga. I think GP2 is going to get leveled up because of it. And I think Draymond Green can just focus on defense, doesn't have to be doing all this playmaking, and is going to be doing things like getting the second pass on the split action, getting the second pass on the post entries, doing the entry pass on the fucking floppies. And these are the things that's going to help us. Then on top of it, CP3 is a sensational shooter. He's a great shooter in the mid range. He could break down our shots. We did two things. We either shot threes, right? We either shot threes or we did layups. We didn't operate in the mid range. That's why players can hug off of Steph. Hug off of Clay and leave him pro. Do you know how hurt and crushed I was when fucking Clay Thompson was out there on the perimeter? Fucking LeBron James waved him off, and left him to go chase Steph, and fucking Clay couldn't hit the shot, bro. I was disgusted, bro. Clay Thompson is elite, but he's elite at fucking shooting the basketball. So what we need to do is you know LeBron sticks guys in the corner. I think Clay needs to let the ball fly 15 times a game. If he wants to take 14 threes, let him. He's going to hit 7 or 8 of them. You understand what I'm saying? But as far as operating in the mid-range, operating with the motion offense, I think CP3, Stephen Curry should have the basketball in their hand. We do that, we're going to be very elite. Matter of fact, we could be breaking the whole matrix of fucking offensive basketball because CP3 has never had a Steph Curry a Steph Curry and a fucking Klay Thompson to work with when he's making that penetration in the middle and kicking it out to shooters. Never he's had that option.
Yeah, the closest thing he had was JJ Redick, and JJ Redick looked great.
JJ Redick looked fucking sensational. He was doing like 17 a game. JJ Redick, bro. Regular role player Rodney, JJ Redick.
So Shadow, then we're okay with, and I'm not saying this like from a critical standpoint. I'm asking a question. Like with that type of offense, we're okay with fewer Steph high pick and rolls and more off ball stuff
Of course. Matter of
because it
fact,
changed. Yeah.
if Steph didn't take no pick and rolls, I wouldn't even cry. Why? Because fucking Steve Kerr can trust CP3, who's one of the greatest of all time at the pick and roll.
And the general goal should be to reduce Steph's pick and rolls, right? Like, obviously, we need to use it if like things aren't going good. But generally, right, the goal is to reduce those pick and rolls because if they're reduced, that means that the other stuff is working, and we're decreasing Steph's
And
load.
when we say things like CP3's old, that has to do with athleticism. That same thing applies to Draymond Green. He's still an elite defender, not because of his body structure or his height or his length or anything like that. It's because of his IQ. Your IQ is not going nowhere. CP3's IQ is not going nowhere. And when you have Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and CP3 on the team, three of the smartest that's ever played the fucking game, as far as reading schemes, read and react, and doing all this, because we keep talking about the motion offense, but really what the motion offense is a remix of the triangle, the Princeton offense, the movement of the ball, a little bit of flex cuts mixed with Lute Olson's read and react. And read and react offense, CP3 is one of the greatest of all time at it, as same as fucking Steph. I think that's going to be a fabulous weapon to use in the playoffs because there's no weak links on the offensive end when those guys are going to be on the court together.
Side
We
note,
have guys
Urkel,
that
is
can't even
this
dribble
this
the
season's
basketball.
highlights?
Brother, I'm not getting on Klay, but
Yes, that's
but
this
Klay
season,
Thompson is not
yes.
capable of dribbling the basketball, dog.
That's
Like,
this season.
let's
Yes.
just be real, man. CP3 is an elite ball handler. He can get to his spots anytime he wants, and then he has Klay and Steph, two of the greatest shooters of all time. That's fucking spooky to me. I don't know how you guys feel, but that's very spooky. Yeah,
So,
we won
Shadow,
the
how do
big
you think
names, but like,
Kaminga's going to be able to fit as his role man in the second unit in that pick and roll? Because I was asking.
if
Go
Kaminga
ahead.
gets time, I'm good. Like I said, I'm going to be honest. Stephen Curry, I'm not saying Stephen Curry has a passing deficiency or a thing, but we're talking about lobs. Kaminga needs to have lobs, and it's shown in this offense. Lobs are few and far between. When we have some of the most athletic guys in the league, like Andrew Wiggins is
And
one of
Shadow,
the most
when they do
athletic
throw
guys in the
them,
league.
they're
Jonathan
terrible
Kaminga is one
lobs.
of the. These guys fucking caught like fucking four lobs the entire year, bro. That's pathetic. CP3 will make that happen a game.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
This is
lob
crazy
throwing
talk.
is
You guys
one of Steph's
are doing
worst,
here,
like, passing ability. His lobs are honestly
bro.
most of the time
He's
terrible.
probably the greatest of all time. With all due respect,
Not lob throw.
he's the greatest lob thrower of all time. I don't know nobody who's better.
Oh, you mean
I wasn't around for
PP?
You're talking about Chris Paul?
Perovich.
Yeah, okay. You should have been in the spaces earlier, Shadow, with Ricky.
No, I was
trying to make these points.
I was super busy. I wish I was, but next time, guys, like, come on, man, be confident. And this is what happened to us last year. They took the wind out of the. We gotta stay on it, bro, because at the end
No,
of the day,
Shadow, but I think it's important.
hold on.
Hold on. Ricky was getting
Listen,
pushback, Shadow.
no,
Don't
but
worry.
listen, guys, I'm trying to explain something to you. The team goes off of us, and obviously all Warrior fans, but they watch certain accounts, right? They watch certain retweets and they feed off of us. That's why in 2022 they fed off of us. Whether we're good, whether we're bad, I personally think this team is probably going to be better than 2022. I think it's going to be a lot better than 20. And these guys are happy about CP3. Andrew Wiggins is happy about CP3. Jonathan Kaminga is happy about CP3. Fucking Stephen Curry's happy about CP3. Draymond Green's happy about CP3 because this is making their job easier. This is making Draymond's job easier because he had to be operating on the offensive end and operating on the defensive end, be the anchor, and he had to be the anchor from the offensive standpoint with when Steph plays off ball. Klay's not doing the playmaking. fucking Jordan Poole is not no fucking playmaker. I'm sorry to tell you, but this is making these guys' job easier. Andrew Wiggins didn't get the playmaking opportunity, so he's not no playmaker in our team. To be honest with you, fucking Kevon Looney in the playoffs was probably one of our best playmakers.
And another portion too, right, is the leadership aspect. Like Draymond, this basically decreases the leadership load on everybody else with Chris Paul. And like it or not, having to, be a leader on the court and also play well, it's easier said than done. Leadership portion does affect your play on the court. And if you're able to basically, decrease the load of leadership, for example, on Draymond, it's going to naturally lead to him playing better, more active, more engaged. And
Brother,
that's
I'm gonna be shocked. Son God, you hit the nail right on your head, and I'm gonna be shocked if we are outside the top 8 on defense and outside of the top 8 on offense. I'll be shocked. I have loftier goals, but I'll keep it to myself. But all I'm telling you is, Steph is the reason that man got on our team, bro. He brought him here for a reason, man. Even watch when he's speaking about CP3 and how he's gonna help. He's literally taking digs at Jordan Poole, bro. He's taking, because when Jordan Poole had the ball, nobody was seeing the basketball. Bro, Andrew Wiggins is Jordan Poole's best friend, and you can count on one hand how much times Jordan Poole passed Andrew Wiggins the ball. And that's his best friend, dog.
And to add to your point, Shadow, Jordan Poole had the highest isolation
Bro,
percentage
Vinny
on the team.
Vonnie
More
Vaughn,
than Steph,
you
more
are
than Clay.
crying in the chat about giving up on Poole. Oh my goodness.
Bro,
Giving
Poole can't
Hey,
get better.
Poole
Couldn't
gonna
get
ball in
better on our
Washington
team.
though. I think Poole gonna
Poole
ball in
couldn't get
Washington.
better on our team. He needs to flap his wings. Let him average 28 a game with 5 turnovers and them winning 19 games. Let it happen. Let him
Hey,
develop.
You're
playing two
crying
points
more
in the
than
Make it
Poole
happen.
game.
waves.
Where's my speaking of playing, man?
What do we think about what?
Wait, what'd you say?
What'd you say, Eman?
I said, where is
Eman?
my speaking of playing, man? I'm not sold on the East.
What the fuck did he say?
Wait, what?
The
He
Wizards
said
might
he
make a
thinks
play
Wizards
in.
might be in the play-in
Yeah, I'm
because
not
they're
sold
not
on the
sold
East.
on
A lot of matchups are going on the East.
the
Wizards are speaking
Wizards.
that 10 spot.
Wait, are you talking about the Warriors being in the
The
play-in, or are you
Wizards.
talking?
The Wizards.
He's talking about
Oh,
the
the
Wizards.
Wizards.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No.
Jesus
I can hate
Christ.
CB3. We're going to be flat. I don't hate CB3. Though.
Oh, the Wizards. I don't know. I don't think we care about the
I
Wizards.
mean, I don't think that matters honestly because LaMelo Ball's been in the plans and we've seen what happens
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah.
He got destroyed.
yeah. So I mean, making the plans in the East is
Vonnie Vaughn
it's
said,
not
all
it's
I'm
not
saying
a
is 20 PPG is better than 13
That's
PPG.
not how
Yeah, take out
basketball
the turnovers,
works.
take out the bad
Yeah,
shots, and
yeah,
when you
Vonnie, I'm
get
sorry, bro, but you kind of cooked yourself with your own comment, dog. Like, no one really needs to say anything now, you know?
And that's also assuming that 5 points per game difference isn't being made up by the likes of Wiggins and
and
Clay.
Kaminga and Moody.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
And Saric.
So it's more. It should be thought of more of as a redistribution of shots. Like how many more shots that Jordan Poole was taking is
Yeah. But
somebody else getting.
Sun God, you were in the spaces earlier, right? My main thing with what he was saying, with what Ricky G was saying, was that he was just assuming that CP was going to be, like a Debbie Downer and not be happy with his role in terms of leading that bench unit. And I just think it's because it just seems like his whole argument was premised on that very point. And I just think that I just think that it's disingenuous to assume that of a 38-year-old player going into his 18th season in the league. Yeah, he's one of the greatest point guards of this game, but it's not year 5 CP3, right?
I
It's
mean,
not LA Clippers.
here's my thing, right? Like I think it's fine to assume that CP thinks that way going into the season, like at this point, right? And I think he definitely is. But my thing is, once new information is presented, is his tone going to change? And if by all accounts and by all the statements he's made is if he wants to
Exactly.
win and new information is presented that you starting is not the best option to win, and he has a
He's
problem
just
with that,
going off of that
then
30-second clip, though. There has been new information presented ever since that clip of him in more extended interviews and articles.
no, that's exactly right. So like that's the point is, so if him starting right works, then we don't have a problem, right? And if the new information that's presented is that him starting does not work and he's refusing to come off the bench, a la Jordan Poole last year, right? Then it's like, all right, then that's a test. It's a slight on CP3's character, not his basketball ability, his character. And if we look historically, that if CP3 does that, doing something like that would shock me, just because of the basketball character that he has displayed over his 18-year or whatever the number is career, right? Like that would be out of character for him to bitch and moan about not starting when starting is not working clearly. And he did come off the bench, uh, I think a couple games, right, for the Suns, even in the playoffs this year. Um, so, like the
No, he
campaign
didn't.
example,
That was more dealing with injury type stuff, though.
right,
Yeah, that
right.
wasn't.
But I'm saying like right, like it's it's not like he's gonna completely sabotage the team because he's not starting. That's my point, right? Because that was borderline what was happening with the Jordan Poole situation, and to expect that from Chris Paul would be, to me, that would be insane, right? Because of the age factor.
Sun God, let me
Because
ask you a question, Sun God. Do you
yeah,
think Jordan Poole had other ambitions that those ambitions ran counter to what you need to do to have championship success?
oh, of course, yeah,
Okay, so if your answer is a resounding yes, he needed to go.
yep, exactly. That's literally it.
Because in one context, when he was trying to get paid, trying to do all this stuff, he was doing all of the the team first stuff. So if your opinion is that he stopped doing that team first stuff, well, he needed to go then. He needed to go and flap his wings elsewhere because his priorities changed at that point.
Yeah, no, I mean that's exactly what happened in my opinion, right? Because
And to be perfectly honest with you, bro, I don't want to watch another year of basketball because I said this in spaces. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for the All-Star voting to close because there are guys on our team, and it wasn't just Jordan, because there were guys on our team that was more interested about making the All-Star team than actually
then,
winning, right?
yep,
So it's like once I saw that, I was like, I'm really irritated with this shit.
yeah. I mean, like there
So
was a
look at
lot
this
of
play right
questionable
here,
identities. Yeah,
where people are rotating and they're. That's the stuff that you need to do to win, bro. Like it's not about like, oh, who can get a bucket, bro. Like everybody can get a bucket, but you need to rotate and do these things to be successful. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that shit wasn't happening. So you know, at some point we need to like kind of figure this thing out. You know?
yeah, and like at some point, right? Like you also have to be able to help out the vets, and with all of this stuff, Jordan Poole wasn't necessarily helping out the vets. And if he's not helping out the vets, then maybe is he helping the younger players? No, that wasn't happening either. So it's like, what do you really do? Like, are you going to count on him to change that next year, especially given that the Draymond situation? So there's not a lot of avenues for improvement for the team in general, right? Both factions of the team. So yeah, like just one of the many reasons that it wasn't really going to work.
Okay, so this play here is interesting because he has DeAndre
Ray.
in the ball screen with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness, look at that. Whew.
Ray, why does your profile picture look like Ricky G?
Because it is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
It's the Mandalorian.
Oh my God, look at that.
And this is also from last year, right?
This plays.
Let me
That
see.
plays, yeah.
Not the whole video.
I saw the
No.
75. That's from 22. I saw the
No, yeah,
75.
because JaVale
Now this is
McGee's
from
there.
2 years ago. This is from 2 years ago.
Yeah. E-Man, you asked for Suns
This
highlights.
is from 2 years ago.
I did. All right, we'll get to the one from last year. We'll get to the one from last year.
I mean, see,
No, come
in
on.
like a lot of these cases, right? Like,
That's from last season.
there's a roller, right, and they end up switching, right? So like that roller portion of CP's not really able to snake the dribble and and get to that mid range area, and he's ending up isolating. And Chris Paul was better at isolating last year than Jordan Poole, right? Which Jordan Poole ended up doing a lot because teams were willing to switch. So like even in that
Christian
area,
Wood's
right,
lazy
it's an
ass.
improvement.
Christian Wood is so lazy. Look at that.
Oh, Christian. Well, yeah, it is definitely same.
That was
Yeah,
some
Christian
lazy
Wood.
shit right there.
What do you mean Vonnie is 30 on is thirsty on the timeline? Dr. NBA, why you fucking with people, bro?
No, I'm
Leave
just
people
messing
alone,
with dog.
dog.
Urkel, I'm surprised you're still on here. I left the spaces for a Zoom meeting and come back, you're here.
Yeah, bro.
Weren't you out?
So here's what happened to me. So I was kind of forced out of my house because for some reason my water got shut off. So they said it was
damn.
going to be back sometime in the midday. So I was like, I'm not going to be at my house without no water. So my gym it has like facilities, like it has a pool and you have a meeting area and all types of shit, right? So it's kind of like a country club in a weird way. So I just went there just to hang out, and I just started the spaces, and next thing you know, 9 o'clock turns into like 12.
Yeah.
So then I was like, let me jump on to playback for a second because the Ricky G kind of riled up people.
Yeah.
What I want people to understand,
Unnecessary.
what I want people to understand is that,
Bro, Urkel, I literally got like four DMs from people because I was the one who added Ricky G to come into the space. Everyone was just crying, saying that that he was annoying and stuff like that. But I actually like it because like the stuff he says, right? It's a little controversial. Like I don't
listen,
agree
he
with
has
it,
a point
but
of
like
view,
he
right?
stands on it. Yeah.
He has a point of view, but here's the thing: he's been wrong before, right? Like it's not like he's always right. You know what I'm saying? Like bro, like that man told me one time that
D'Lo.
D'Lo was a better pick and roll player than Steph. I was like, there's no
Yep.
fucking way you think that,
Yeah.
bro. Like, so he said stuff before where he's not necessarily right.
Yeah.
He's had some stance about Draymond that like he just thinks that Draymond is just completely useless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, like in certain contexts, yeah, like he's not as great, but does he do other things well? Sure. Draymond has been doing the same shit that he's been doing. Has he gotten like worse at some things? Not really. I just think people have just gotten better. So I
And
really
by
don't think it's as bad as he says he is. You know what I'm saying? Because
and by the way,
game
this
last
is
year, bro.
I was just
No,
gonna say
Urkel,
this
he's
is
got much
Urkel
worse than
talking about
turnovers.
Draymond, a person he absolutely hates. So take his word for it, because Urkel absolutely hates Draymond.
He's gotten much worse at turnover the ball. Seriously. He
Wait,
used to be way better than what he is
Yeah,
now.
his pass. Yeah, Draymond's passes
Oh.
get telegraphed very easily.
Yeah, it's just because he keeps doing the same thing, so like people are gonna
Yeah.
eventually figure
Yeah,
it
it's
out.
the
Like,
traffic.
we
It's
can
the
expect
traffic cop bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, telegraph passes.
This
you
dude
know.
had a 32% turnover percentage, and Steph won the title. That's fucking insane.
Obviously, he hasn't progressed.
That shit should count as two.
Right, that he hasn't progressed offensively. He hasn't really worked much on his game.
Also, if you're watching these highlights, you notice that like in a lot of these, the roller isn't the biggest component of this. It's actually the part of somebody being able to set a screen to get Chris Paul separation, right?
Wait,
That's
so
we
the
have
more
good
important
screen
part.
setters, and we have good screen setters.
Exactly. Like the space is what he needs to get into that mid-range area, and once he's there, then that's literally like his bread and butter. So, and we have more than good enough screen setters to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's his bread and butter.
Nah, I
Like
have
like
thought
see
that.
on that last play, right? Like was Biombo really rolling? Like, it's just he got Chris Paul enough separation to, have the drop man make a decision.
Oh
And
my God! Look at that pass.
yeah,
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's gonna be Kaminga.
No, I'm not gonna be up here and act like I rocked with CP. Obviously now he's a warrior.
Yeah,
Warrior. Like I felt how I felt
Bro,
about him,
like,
bro. It's not
but
like he's the
bro,
perfect
hold
but
up, hold up,
on our
hold up.
example.
I'm
team.
not
but
gonna
like
say like, oh, I rock with CP3, but here's the
Exactly.
thing.
no. I'm just
I'm
saying.
the
He's gonna
same
help.
motherfucker who coined OP3, bro. Like,
Yeah, yeah. No. Like no. No,
you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not saying that. I'm just saying, like, look, like I like many other Warrior fans and many other people in the that have watched the NBA for many years. Not just Warrior fans. Don't really rock with this guy, but I'm not gonna.
Nope.
I got to give him more credit than being an above average mid range shooter. The man is an elite mid range shooter.
I
He
mean, if
is.
somebody's annoying to play against and he's on your team now, chances are he's probably a pretty good player.
Yeah. So it is what it is, man. Like he's a Warrior now. So
With all due respect, man like CP3's been torching the Warriors for years too. On top of it, like torching.
yeah. So Shadow, like Houston doesn't take us 7 games in those postseason series if they don't have CP3. Right.
Nope.
If it's just Harden and something like that. It's just it is what it is. Like it's facts.
Yeah.
Man, the man can hoop. Do like here. Do we need everybody else to play like out of their mind in order for us to win the title? Of course we do. We need Steph
Yeah.
to be Steph. We need Klay Thompson to be the one of the
Second
greatest
greatest
shooters
shooter.
we've ever seen in our life. We need Andrew Christian Wiggins to be athletic, a defensive pest. We need him to fucking get buckets. We need him probably more now than ever because there's no pool. So we
Look
need
at
him
Jordan
to
Poole got
average
cooked right
20,
there.
20 plus. Like, you understand what I'm saying? We need a lot of things to go our way, but I like the cards that we
By
are
the way,
dealt.
Otto held his
We're
own
one
there.
card away from the fucking royal flush, bro. Like, it's
And
literally that simple.
and Shadow, Dre has to do the little shit too. That is just like how is he like the finishing around the rim type shit. Like shit that's like doesn't necessarily it's not one of those things where, like it's gonna make or break us, but I mean you see this guy against the
Yeah.
Lakers, you've seen him, against the Kings just last year. Dude, he can't make layups half the time.
And
Like,
here's
bro,
another
like you're
thing
gonna
too.
be
Like,
That's
rolling
not
in
John,
some of
one
that's
of the
not
these
gonna
some of
fly.
things.
these
That's not gonna fly with
rotations.
CP.
Like,
CP's a leader, man. We have an
bro,
extra
like
leader now. We have an extra leader now. So
Here is one of
this
the
is good.
things that
Oh, look at the
Ricky
Jose
said
Alvarado.
that
Like you
I
can't be fucking bricking layups over
hold up.
Dennis Schroeder next year, bro. Like, what are
Here's
you
one of
doing?
the
Shadow.
things.
Oh,
Here's
I was
one of
just
the things that I disagree with what Ricky said. He was like, "Oh, CP, he's too slow and like he can't get by anybody. This, that, and the other,
He
bro.
can't create off the
Look
dribble.
at him right here, bro. Like, does he
Yeah,
look
That's what
like
he
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 has
can
like an
still do it.
initial step to you?
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Urkel, Jason Tatum's ID camp. A bunch of Canadian kids. Well, not a bunch, but two of the Canadian kids were there. Like, one of them is like my dog. He's like league bound.
Yeah.
He's going to the league. So he was at that camp, and I asked him. I said, "Yo, who is killing at the camp?" He was like, "Bro, CP3 was killing everybody, killing Tatum, killing fucking every college kid who was there, every high school kid that was there. CP3 was torching them. Like, the moves that he was putting on people and they were falling for it, and the shots, he didn't miss the entire fucking camp. You understand what I'm saying? Like, his legs are spry. He was quick as shit. He goes, bro. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I thought the man was an old man. He was blowing by me, and this kid is super athletic and fast. You understand what I'm saying? Like, CP3 is good, and on top of it, he probably needed this boost in his career. He's rejuvenated. Like, he's gonna do whatever it takes to win a chip, because that is literally the only thing that he's not. He's won
But
multiple
Shadow,
like
Shadow,
assist
that's
titles.
hey.
Yeah.
But Shadow, that's what I said. That's what I said to Ricky G. But he's like, no, I've been sitting in the gyms for 50 years with AAU coaches, and that's not how they think and stuff like that. He said
I
that
Bro,
mean,
last
Chris
that's
time.
a
Paul.
valid point though, right? Like he does make a point in terms of the ego thing. You know what I'm
he
saying?
old school.
So
And he does
there is
have
an
an.
ego component. Like,
There is an
once
ego
listen,
component. There is one.
Everybody has an ego.
He has an ego, but at the end of the day, we want what's the best for the team. Like, don't get me wrong, Kevon Looney is sensational, but when the fuck does Kevon Looney finish games? When? When the fuck in this lifetime is Kevon Looney finishing games and he's gonna be on the floor?
Sorry, Loon Muse.
Loon is gonna do what he's gonna do. This year he's probably gonna average double digit rebounds this year. I'm confident in that. I think it's infectious what he was doing in the playoffs. It carries over. I think he's gonna be more playmaking, but I think he's still gonna be around his 24 to 26 minutes max that he plays, which is probably not gonna be enough to be closing lineups. Like it's okay. Like bro, like Wiggins is there, Steph is there, Clay is there. Like we had the best starting five, right? But at the end of the day, Loon wasn't finishing lineups. You understand what I'm saying? So if
Yeah.
CP3 is out there closing lineups, that's the last 4 minutes aren't about the baskets you make. It's about the mistakes. And we lost games because of mistakes. Remember that game where Draymond gave it to Kyle Anderson, and Kyle Anderson splashed that three and we lost the game?
Yep. Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? CP3 is not doing
Yep.
those
So
bozo shit.
Shadow, do you think
I think
CP3
that
is
was
going to
Kemba
close
hit the
games?
three, not Kyle.
Do you think
Key word
CP3?
was Draymond.
Eman, we cannot hear what you're saying. Please be clear. But Shadow, do you think CP3 is going to be closing games?
1000%. He's one of the
Okay.
best closers in the fucking league, bro.
Okay.
He's good. Injuries, yes, he hasn't got a chip. It's injuries, bro.
So what
And
would you
and
say to this point? If you're closing games with CP3, right? Now you got two small guards and him and Steph, right?
bro, I don't
And the
care
issue
about
is,
that that small.
wait, Shadow, wait.
Yeah.
One more thing. And you know that CP3 is going to want the ball, right? So who's going to get the ball in that closing lineup? Him or Steph? Who would you want to have the ball?
It's going to be actions, right? Like
To,
the
to
So,
be,
ball's going
so
to be distributed.
I'm. Do you want me to be honest
hold on
with
one
you?
second.
Like, yeah.
No, because that was a good question he asked, Oracle, that Ricky asked.
When people say, so Mike Dunleavy went on Jim Rome and he made a really good point, right? So I'm going to throw the quote in the jumbo. I'm in the chat real quick, but he said that the pool trade accomplished two things, and I think he's right. I think some people are trying to look too far ahead, but he said the pool trade accomplished two things: helps our team next season and helps our team down the road financially. The NBA is a year-to-year business at this point, and Chris Paul enhances our chances next year. Bro, I think he's 100% right. Like, I don't think we could have gone forward with Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson on the same team.
No.
I don't think so. Like, they're trying to do similar things, right? So, I don't think we could have had them on the team competing, doing that dumb shit that they've been doing the last 2 years. So one of them needed to go, and I think Klay Thompson is a little bit better than Jordan Poole, not by much, but he's a little bit better, especially for what this team wants.
Hmm.
I think the second half of that quote is actually pretty interesting too, right? Is that might be a difference in approach between Myers and Mike Dunleavy, right? I don't think Myers necessarily viewed it as a year to year, league. Um, Definitely not, right? With all the young kids and planning for the future, but with the
So do
way
you
the
think he's
NBA
right,
has
Sun
switched,
God, in the sense that it's a year-to-year league? What do you think about that?
no, I definitely think so. I think like it wasn't the case maybe like I don't know 5 years ago, 4 years ago, but after the Houston Rockets and kind of like they kind of started this thing right where you trade for players, you don't care about giving up draft picks, 4 to 5 years of draft picks, you make win now moves, and you've kind of seen the rest of the NBA follow suit. And I think at this point it is really a year to year league because of the amount of turnover. Like teams that are rebuilding are committed to rebuilding.
All
Teams
right,
that are
look at that Phoenix team right now versus how they looked last year. It's a complete different team.
exactly, yeah.
Right. So he does have a point, right? Like now we're looking at Phoenix as a contender last year. We're looking at them as a contender this year. Like, bro, shit changes, man. So I think we have been lucky enough to 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 have the core that we've had for so long. And that's partly because, or largely because, they've been so successful, right? So, knock on wood for that. But at the same point, I don't think we like fans fall in love with players, and bro, if players don't produce and if they're not doing the things that we want them to do, then they have to go, bro. Like it is what it is. And I love Jordan, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that Jordan is gonna be like some top 5 player, top 10 player, right? Like if he is, egg on my face. But do you see Jordan being like a top 20 player?
No.
I don't.
No,
I
Oh
don't.
no, no, no.
no,
Right?
no.
If
Fuck
he's
no.
not a top 20 player, he's not burning us. I'm sorry. Like we couldn't go forward paying three guards that much money. I've been saying it all year long, bro. One of them needed to go. And if the alternative is we're going to get Chris Paul for 1 year and then we kind of figure it out from there, so be it, bro. Like that is just the reality of what the salary cap is. So if we are going to be here and we have and we're staring at that second apron isn't just we write a check times four over the luxury tax. Now they're taking away the mid level, right? Like how the fuck can we go forward and be competitive if we don't have the mid level available, right? It's that punitive now, bro. Like we
And starting next season, I think they're going to take away your ability to sign buyout candidates too.
This is what I'm
If
saying. So
you go over
we
the
can't buy,
second
Yeah,
apron.
that
we can't
sucks. I
get
ain't gonna lie, I
buyouts,
hate that.
bro. Like,
Man,
Jesus.
bro, I watched the '08 Celtics win the title because they bought they picked up PJ Brown in the fucking buyout, right, bro? Right? Think about fucking PJ Tucker, right? PJ Tucker was a buyout. You know what I'm saying? And look how important PJ Tucker was in that Milwaukee run.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA just sent a memo to all 30 teams about Damian Lillard's trade request and the stance that he only wants to play in Miami. Wow, NBA's getting involved now.
Damn.
That's funny.
Come on, Dan. Be
so
better.
Dr. NBA, to your original question about the closing lineups, the one of the concerns that I have with the CP3 closing lineups, assuming it's with Looney on the bench, so the ones with Looney on the bench and Draymond at the five, is because Wiggins is going to have some defensive responsibilities inside and definitely rebounding wise. Clay a lot of times is the point of attack in those type of lineups, or he's going to have to be the point of attack, and a lot of that is pretty contingent on how successful it is on two things. One, which is his health, which it is what it is. I've been he's been through in similar ways, and you can't, if he doesn't have his legs night in and night out, it is what it is. It's a health thing. He's older. He's been through a lot in his lower half. But the other component of that is
Pause,
is,
bro.
is his ball.
Pause.
And the other component of that is his shooting, is if his shot's falling, because we've seen it time and time again where when his shot is not falling, he kind of tunes out defensively, right? We've all seen that. It is what it is. We've seen it numerous times. So Clay as a point of attack ends up being a little bit tricky from night in and night out. That's just a little bit of from a defensive standpoint, Dr. NBA, that's the concern that I have with those lineups. And you can't say, okay, well, in that
My bad.
lineup,
Sorry, I was
let's
cutting a
go.
coconut.
Like you can't just go,
That's
okay, well,
crazy.
you know what? Like let's have Wiggs be more point of attack in those type of lineups because you lose the rebounding and Clay is not defending any fours inside the paint. Like let's be
You're
real here.
cutting a coconut, Doctor NBA. What are you doing with the coconut?
I thought you have to crack them. You can't cut them.
I'm gonna throw it at your fucking face, Arco. I'm just kidding.
No, but
No. I'm
I'm,
It's a young. I'm drinking. It's like coconut water, fresh coconut water.
so hold on.
BRB.
Where you getting
BRB.
coconuts from in the Bay Area?
What do you mean? We have coconuts in the Bay Area.
You do?
Yeah, we just
So
buy them.
hold up. You have coconuts in the Bay Area that has water in them.
Yeah. You just got to go to the Ranch 99 and those type of markets rather
Yeah,
than
Really? I didn't
that's like
know
an
that.
Asian supermarket. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, yeah.
that's amazing,
Dali City.
bro. I had no idea y'all had that. That's
How
all
did
right. So you
how
see the
did this go to
coconut
coconut?
water that they
I'll,
have
I'll send you a
at the
pic in a
store.
second. BRB.
So you see the coconut the damn coconut water. There is no coconut water like the coconut water that's in the actual fucking coconut.
Hey,
Whenever you
Urkel,
try
let me
the
give you a
Massachusetts shit, it
recommendation.
tastes like garbage, bro.
Urkel, I'll give you a
facts.
recommendation. This will change your coconut water life forever. You have a Costco membership, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go to Costco.
Coconut nut. Sorry.
Ray, come on. Go go to Costco and get this. It's called Harmless Harvest. It's in a bottle and it's in the fridge. They have the best coconut water. It's not
So
like
all right.
artificial or anything. It's
So are
expensive,
you
but it's good.
positive that it's artificial? Because I've been looking this for.
Absolutely
That's why I
not.
stopped
Go
you
look
right
it
now
up.
because I've been looking for this for years and I haven't been able to find it.
No, it's not artificial. Look it up. I
Because the
promise you, it's
only
not.
place that I've ever found good coconut water, like mass produced, is in Jamaica. Nowhere else.
No. HIEI. If you think because it's pink, it's artificial, you're dumb as fuck. Because when the water sees oxygen, it gets oxygenated and then it turns pink. They don't put stuff in it, which is why it turns pink. Bozo.
Come on, Doctor MBA,
Sorry,
defend our Bay Area
I
coconut.
take my coconut water really seriously.
So, Doctor NBA, do you use like a machete and like open up the coconut water and all of that? Like,
Yes, bro. I need to go do that before it leaks out.
Do you put the
BRB.
lime in the coconut? Nobody, y'all don't get this.
you should show us that on camera one day, bro. Like, I'm dying to see what that looks like. I'm dying to see what that looks like, bro. So in my backyard, bro, I used to either climb the coconut tree and then like pick the coconuts off, or I would use like a big ass stick and just try to wrangle it out, bro. Like, so and that is the best. Coconut water is just like the best thing that you can drink, bro. It is absolutely delicious. There ain't no other drink like it, man.
No, it's facts.
When I go home to Jamaica and we're just like in the backyard because we have a few coconut trees in our backyard and we go up there and we climb it and we peel the shit off or whatever, bro. And we come down and we just like open it up and you drink the coconut water and then you use your machete and you just crack it in half and then you scoop out the coconut meat, bro. It is the best thing. Pause. You know what I'm saying? It's literally the best. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ah, shit. It is literally the best thing, bro. Like, there's nothing like it. The coconut meat.
That's crazy.
Hey, Adele, it is coconut meat, bro. Ah, y'all stupid, man. I knew exactly who I'm dealing with, so that's why I said pause immediately. Like, uh, it is a wild day on playback. Coconut meat is the first thing you heard. Oh, that's wild. uh, what does it mean to get pegged? I have no idea. I, I have no idea what getting pegged means.
We should get fucked.
Bro, CJ, why are you typing that weird shit in the chat?
That's
He keeps saying
crazy.
that.
You don't want to get pegged, bro.
Coconut meat. And now you're gonna kill me, bro.
Urkel, I just put the photo in. That's what it looks like.
Okay, okay. Oh, that's crazy.
You have to cut it. Like, it's hard. You have to cut the top.
So you can't open up that and get like the coconut meat, can you?
No, you can't. No, bro. You can, but you have to use like a knife to like dig in there. I am too lazy for that, so I just get the
Yeah.
water out of it.
Okay, okay.
If my girlfriend was here, she would do
Wait,
it. And
you
then
waste
can
the
just,
rest of it?
Yeah, I mean,
Dr. NBA,
yeah,
you're
because
wasting it, bro. Like you still got to
Which
get
no,
it there, bro. You have
no,
to get
I
the
try
meat
to
out.
no. So I try to use that the boba straw to like kind
Yeah.
of peel it off, but it's hard. But if my girlfriend's there, she'll cut the whole thing, and then you can like she'll put it in like ice and like take out the meat and put
That's
it.
a roundabout
Excuse
way
me.
of saying you waste it.
Yeah, he's wasting it, bro.
No, but the coconut meat, she'll take it out, put it in some ice, and put the water in a cup.
Y'all do anything for that coconut meat?
Hey,
No, but
don't
it's
knock
good.
it till you
Hey,
try it,
Urkel,
bro.
it's
Don't knock it
good.
till you try
The
it.
coconut meat is good because it's young coconut. It's not like old. It's not
Yo,
old coconut.
yo,
Hey, so
this is
what
getting
you're
weird,
saying is
bro.
you're a fan of young coconut meat,
Ray. Are you?
not old
Young
coconut
meat,
meat.
bro.
Is Ray
Stop it.
talking about weird?
Yeah,
Is that Ray Cook talking about weird?
yeah.
That is
It's getting weird for you and me, bro.
Oh my god.
Trust me, it's not weird for me. I prosecute sex crimes. It's not weird.
Interesting.
Oh shit! I'm dying from this, bro.
Yo, Urkel, you guys got Sun Life Organics in Arizona, in the Phoenix?
Sun Life. I'm not sure. No, I don't think so.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, we don't have it up here in the Bay, but they got it down in SoCal, like in Calabasas and stuff.
Yeah,
No fucking pause, but bro, they got these Thai beef steaks, this Thai beef meat, and
yeah.
bro, I'm telling you, like,
Oh my god.
bro, like I know it's jokes, but I've never had that coconut meat in my life, bro.
Hold up.
So
Dr.
you're
Ingve,
saying
what
that
kind of
the
sex
hey,
crimes
hold
have
on.
you prosecuted?
So you're saying that the harmless harvest is as good as the coconut water that you just drank?
Me? Are you talking to me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's definitely not as good. That's why we usually get the real ones, but like it's easier, like obviously, but it's better than any of the bottled ones that aren't refrigerated. The plastic bottled ones.
Where
It's
can
the
I
best. It's the best bottled ones I could find, and you can get it at Costco.
the harmless harvest? I wonder
Yep.
if it's at Whole Foods because I'm gonna try that.
It probably is, but what? Do you not have a Costco membership?
No, I do, but I
Okay.
just hate going to fucking
Oh, okay. Because
going to Costco.
it's only like 6 in a box, so it's not like too much.
Yeah.
But it's the best. It's the best you can find. Like
You know
try it.
what?
Just
I
try
live
it.
right next to a Sprouts. It's probably at Sprouts. I'm gonna try Sprouts.
Yeah, probably Sprouts, but you'll just be able to buy it in like individual bottles. But
Yeah,
Costco, they
my
have it in
house
the
is
box.
like right next to Sprouts. Shit, I probably shouldn't have
Yeah,
said that. But all right, yeah.
Sprouts or Whole Foods, bro. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's like plenty of Sprouts.
They have them at like a Safeway or Vaughn's, depending on your region. It's like one or the other.
Yeah.
Safeway or Vaughn's too.
Yeah, but coconut water is good. It's good for electrolytes, better than Gatorade after you work out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That damn thing is crazy though.
Yeah, Yannick, did you
So
watch the video? What did he say?
Yeah, so he said he wants Lillard to stop saying that he only wants to go to Miami, and if he keeps doing it, then he's gonna get like disciplined or something.
So, like,
Well,
what effect does that have? Like, does he
I
care?
mean, they already signed the new CBA, right? So, like, what authority does the NBA have to discipline him?
That's what I want to know. Like, what? And if they discipline him, is he gonna care? Like, does that actually affect what he does?
Hmm.
I'm
Because
not
if
sure.
they
It's gonna
do,
be
right, then it's
interesting.
almost an NBA PA issue. Because I
so
mean,
let me ask this question: is Damian Lillard doing the talking, or
his
is
agent.
his agent doing the talking? Has Damian Lillard said anything?
The league said they met with Dame and his agent at the same time.
Oh. See, bro, like when the league has to step in and say like stuff like that, that's interesting to me. That's telling well, this is when the league steps in. The league steps in anytime there is like a PR nightmare. You know what I'm saying? Or like a PR snafu or something to do with perception. So that is interesting. So I keep hearing NBA would veto any trade to Heat. What?
Holy
I
shit!
mean,
And this
this
is from
is
Sam.
this is crazy, right? Because this is almost like a precedent thing, right? If the NBA does this, it sets almost like a precedent of
Hold
Oh
up,
my
hold up.
god!
They would
This is
veto a
serious.
trade? What the fuck is
Because
this?
that's the discipline I'm talking
What?
about. Like
Bro,
that. Like
what
that's
about the
discipline.
Lakers?
It
What about
may not
the Suns?
happen. It may not happen, but they're talking about it.
Bro, the
It's
fact
definitely
that
in
it's
That's
in the
discussion.
discipline. That.
conversation is
Yeah.
huge
The
though,
NBA
Yannick.
think they the shit, don't they?
Oh my god.
Yeah, but this
Veto
isn't
a
the
trade?
first
That's
time.
weird, bro.
Yeah, this isn't the first time we're seeing some shit like this, though. Didn't we see Harden force his way into Brooklyn from
Hold
Houston?
on. So why are they not
Like,
stepping in
like
for
we've
Harden
been
and the
we've been
Clippers?
Fuck
seeing.
wrong with them niggas.
Why are they not stepping
Niggers.
in for
Like
Harden
this
and the
is, you
Clippers?
know what I'm saying? Like this isn't like a
hold on,
first.
hold
What
on.
is it about this?
Yeah, I think, I mean, the only thing that kind of makes sense to me is that it's Dame basically saying, if you trade me to this other place, I'm going to tell that team I'm not playing for them, or he's personally, threatening that because he doesn't have no trade clause. He doesn't have anything to dictate where he goes, right? It's Portland will take the best offer and send him there. So what authority does Damian Lillard have to say, I will only go to the Heat? Is it he's telling other teams, I'm not going to play for you. I'm going to sit out. I'm going to
That's
fake an
what it is.
injury, right? Like, if that's the only reason I would see that this NBA steps in is that Damian Lillard doesn't have any, these other teams that potentially are thinking of trading for him. Damian Lillard is telling them something that is making them not want to trade for him.
So I
there's
don't
some.
understand why the league is getting involved talking about vetoing any trade. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, they need to stay out of that, bro, because we still remember that CP3 shit that they did 10 years ago. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Well, they think it's a bad PR look. That's what they think.
yeah, but what's worse than a bad PR look than them trying to force somebody's hand in a trade scenario? That's bro. We still remember that CP stuff. That was weird 10 years ago, bro. They
See,
had
it'll
the
look.
Meanwhile,
fucking
this nigga
trade
LeBron making
completed.
40 trades.
Yeah, bro. Like they had the fucking trade completed, done, and it was a legal trade, by the way. And then they just stepped in and said, "Nope." Dan Gilbert bitched about the trade, so we're not like that was weird back then, bro.
I think it'll look worse if they veto a trade. It'll look way
Of
worse than them.
course.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, but even if the league see that even makes it worse, right? So even if they own the Hornets, that's fucking stupid.
I mean, and at that time,
It's
right?
not
The
like they were
NBA.
getting a shit offer, bro. Like they weren't getting a shit offer. Who did they get back? Fucking Eric Gordon, Eric Bledsoe. Like who gives a fuck? None of those dudes moved the needle anyway.
And the thing is, the NBA had ownership, but they had specifically stated that the GM is the GM, and whatever decisions they make is theirs, right? Like we'll go along with it, and then to step in afterwards and veto the trade. That was completely crazy. Like that's not
Yeah,
even the scenario
so
here, right?
that's weird, man.
Yeah, they're saying the league is extremely upset.
I also
That
don't think they want 3 All-Stars on one team.
Who's
They
the
see what's
All
going on
Star?
in Phoenix. I don't think they want that
I'm not
again.
scared of fucking Bam and Butler and Lillard.
And so if it's like a 3-team thing, and the team that he gets sent somewhere he doesn't want to, and he gets bought out, like how is that any different then?
Dame's not gonna get bought
He's
out. He
not going to
makes
get
too
bought
much
out.
money. He makes
Like
Yeah,
doesn't he
way
doesn't
too
he
much
only have
money.
like a year or two left on it anyways?
No, he has like
no.
he has
It's
like
like
3
3 or
years left.
4.
He
Yeah.
signed till
Yeah.
I
2026.
thought it was
No, he
2020.
signed an extension.
Is it 2026 or 2027?
He signed an extension. Like, yeah.
So he's got like 3.
No, the AD thing is different, right? Because AD basically told him, "I'm going to be a free agent next year, and I'm going to leave. So get something for me while you can." Damien's still under contract till 2027, right? Like someone said. So this is a completely different situation. AD was either trade me and get something back, or lose me for nothing. This is trade me only to this team, or what? like you're gonna pay me this money. That's it, right?
That's
Like
why people were killing Dame for even signing that extension in the first place.
So I know Brooklyn
So
was a team talked about early on. Are they like out of this? Is it just like Miami? And because I don't know,
I
I
think
think he
everything
did.
is on
I
the
think there
table.
was discussion about Brooklyn early on in July, but I guess it's not.
I think everything is on the table now.
So this shit is mad ironic, right? With like how Dame was put up as the the face of loyalty in the NBA and the extension and staying with Portland despite them not really having an outlook to really seriously contend. I just find it funny that like this is the situation that we're in with the NBA getting involved with this dude.
I mean, this is just a bad look on both sides. Like,
This is a disaster because
Not
then
good
what
for
happens?
Dame
So
and it's not good for the league. Like
if they veto a trade to Miami and he stays in Portland, does he just not play? Like this
I mean, yeah, right?
is
Like,
a
if they do
disaster.
that, then what's stopping them from doing that in the future for other players? Like, what makes this situation unique that the league is able or thinks they should step in, right? Because, I mean, we've seen James Harden do that, right? We've seen Kevin Durant do that. And there was, I agreed that they didn't pick one specific destination, but they might as well have, right? So, like, what's the difference here?
I think Portland made a
that's
call.
exactly what I was saying. Yeah, I completely agree.
I think
Like it's
Portland
not
made a
like
call to leave.
KD had a list of 4 teams that he was willing to be traded to.
I think Portland made a call to the league.
Portland snitched.
Yeah, that's what I think happened.
Portland's them bitches.
Yeah, Portland definitely snitched.
Because they've been mad the entire process.
Why should they be mad? Bro,
Well,
they drafted
they failed to build a team around him.
they drafted his replacement, and they're clearly going younger. So, what do you want him to do? Like,
They just want the right assets back, and
yeah,
what
like,
Dame wants doesn't really do that for
Well,
them.
I think what
Because
they could be
Miami
mad
doesn't really
about,
have
right?
any assets that
What they could be
Portland
mad
was
about
attracted
is
to.
they specifically didn't give Damian Lillard a no trade clause, right? The no trade clause is basically given to a player to do stuff like Dame's trying to do, right?
so let
Where
me be honest about the Dame thing. I'm going to be 100% honest about the Dame thing. Dame. So if you send Dame to like a contender, right, and the contender has like another guy that does something similar like he does, he's not going to want to go there, right? So for instance, like they talked to him about going to the Warriors like a few years back, and Dame was like, "Fuck no, I'm not going there," right? Because he was like, "I don't want to be viewed like
well,
a
I'm
base."
loyal to the soil, yeah.
No. He was open to being traded, but if Steph Curry wasn't there, he would be fine to go into the Dubs. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
Now, 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 going to Miami. So if he goes to Miami and Miami wins the title, he's going to be the reason why Miami wins the title. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
So it's nothing to do with loyalty. It's more about perception, bro. Like if
Legacy,
he's
yeah.
going to go to a place where he's going to be the main reason to go, that's why he'll go. So from his standpoint, is that Miami just made the finals. If you put me in Miami and we win, it's
It's a boost to your legacy, yeah.
yeah, that adds to my legacy. I'm better than Steph Curry, right? That. That's pretty much what's going on here. So
yeah,
that's why
and he
he's
came
so
out.
adamant about Miami.
And Miami Star does nothing that he does offensively. So in order for them to take that leap, obviously he would have been the guy
Yeah.
who needle for him to get the chip.
Dame came out and said, I think in June, that he wouldn't go to Miami if they won the title. So it all makes sense.
Yeah. So did he say that?
Yeah, he did. I think on a podcast.
So it's the KD thing, bro. Like it's the KD thing all over again. So I mean, that's weird though. That's weird that the league had to come out and say that. So you know, super
But
interesting.
Urkel, I feel like I'm not a fan of this thing where like a player signs like a new max contract, right, with their team, right, like kind of like the Dame and Brad Beals of the world, right, to get that money and then subsequently requesting a trade. Like, bro, you have your opportunity to decide what team you want to be on through free agency. I felt like they should have made it more punitive in the new CBA. I don't know.
Well, you do know teams and free agency can't offer as much as the team they're already on. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
bro,
that because
maybe that plays. I
outside
don't
of
know.
outside of eliminating free agency, I don't know how more punitive you can make it, because if you make it if you make it more punitive, you kill the spirit of free agency, and you kill what Oscar Robertson was fighting for years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think there's a line to which they can make those rules restrictive, right? Like,
Yep.
so the only way that they can attack it is financially. And I think by attacking it financially, they've had some unintended consequences, right? So what are those unintended consequences? The consequence is that you overpay guys that are not worth the supermax. How many guys have not been worth the supermax? There've been quite a few,
A
A
lot of
lot,
them.
yeah.
A
right?
lot of them.
Ben
So
Simmons.
that's the unintended consequences of it. You know, like, so how many guys signed the supermax? So Giannis signed it, Jokic signed it, Steph signed it,
Brad
Harden,
Beal,
Brad Beal, Russell Westbrook,
Tyrese Halliburton, I
uh,
think.
John Wall. You know, a couple of those guys aren't worth the supermax. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, Giannis is obviously worth it. He won a title. He's a MVP candidate year in, year out. Jokic is worth it. He just won a title, two MVPs, right? And then we have Steph. I mean, I don't think there's a question there. He has four titles, right? So a lot of these guys that signed that deal, they ain't really worth it, bro. Like, when Brad Beal signed that contract, we immediately knew he wasn't worth it. think about Rudy Gobert. So he made all NBAs and he won Depoy. Got drafted for like 7 picks damn near, and you think he's worth a supermax? I don't think so.
No shot.
Yeah, and I mean, like the thing is, right? They with the player movement, they kind of said, "Hey, like teams can sign your own players, but and it's fine to trade, but with these new second apron trade restrictions, if you want to trade, you're not going to a contender. You're not going to a team making that's spending a lot on their roster already, because now you got like you can't take back more salary and sign and trade restrictions and all of that, so." They're kind of just saying like, hey, like if you made your bed, you got to lay in it. And that's kind of what's the Dame situation is right now, right? Is they're saying you made your bed, you signed that deal. You got to, we're not going to let you go to Miami because, we're basically tired of this players movement, player power thing. And we're trying to limit that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what like. This Dame thing is interesting, though. Really
And
interesting. But
yeah,
because for them to come out and say that, like, that tells me that they're getting involved now and they're making it known that they're getting involved. Like, usually that's something that happens behind the scenes, but I think they're trying to combat what Dame and his agent is doing PR wise. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
did
they're
you?
making it loud now because usually that would be a memo that they would send personally or kind of just behind the scenes.
Yeah,
But
like
the
a
fact that
nudge.
Woj and Shams got a hold of that and they're saying that, that's super interesting, man.
So did you see what Dame's agent told the NBA?
Now, what did he say?
That reports of him wanting to go to the Heat and only the Heat are false.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I wonder who put out those reports of him only wanting to go to the Heat.
His agent did.
Exactly. So I
Yeah.
don't.
Oh, shit. All right. We got anything else that we want to discuss? That was interesting.
Not on
Coconut.
this playback, but Urkel maybe on the weekend. We
Yeah.
fire up another one. There's some interesting stuff developing with the Mbappe transfer, but we can get to it another day.
Hold up. Now you got me sucked in. Pause.
Yeah, same.
What's
So
happening with the Mbappe transfer?
So basically, it's being reported that because PSG knows they're kind of in a chokehold right now because of Madrid, and he's obviously we know he's not going to be. It looks like he's not going to agree to terms with the Saudi club, and the only club that he won't that he says that he will agree to terms with, which he's told PSG, is Madrid. But the thing is, now PSG is putting a 250 price tag for Madrid on a transfer fee, and Madrid is like, well, fuck y'all right now because 250 with 1 year left on his deal. We don't really care that much if he sits on the bench, kind of just in the back, in the shadows with you guys for once. You guys, that's your problem. That's not our problem, right? So Madrid's really like it's going to be a huge, huge unlikelihood that they're going to agree to a 250 million transfer fee. So now,
What's the
we already know. Yeah, go ahead.
So it sounds like Madrid is saying, ha ha ha, we agreed to terms with him behind the scenes already.
Yeah.
So it's either we wait for him, right? Like it's either we wait for him to come in a year, or y'all just sit there, have him just sit on the bench for a year, and y'all just do that. So now interests are going to kick in, right? Because Mbappe is like, okay, all right. Do I want to sit on the bench for a year and waste a year of football, or because he does have Ballon d'Or aspirations, right? So that's
Every year,
right? So he has the Ballon d'Or waiting for him, right? He doesn't want to sit out for a year. I'm sure they don't want him to sit for a year. Madrid doesn't care. They're like, we'll just wait for him, and he just comes for free. So Mbappe has put the PSG club in a really weird,
literally in a
situation, right? So
and Madrid is saying we don't give a fuck if you sell him for even if you get a price tag that you want from a transfer fee and you send him wherever, you send him to the Premier League. We're so confident that even if you send him to Chelsea, for example, who, by the way, just finally sent out a ton of players on transfer. They actually made some net profit after spending almost $1 billion over the two transfers. After 2 summers of transfer window,
Yeah.
they actually got some profit back. They're so confident. They're like, fine, that's cool. Send him to a Premier League club. Send him wherever. We're so confident that we know he's not going to sign a contract
So
with
hold up.
anywhere else that you even send him.
You see why
So
teams set rules that why you can't go and negotiate with another team while you're playing for some other team.
Yeah.
So they think that Mbappe met with Madrid in private, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's they think, but when you look more
They
into
don't
it,
know for sure.
they don't know for sure. But like, yeah, it's pretty clear. Like his dad, was flying back and forth to Madrid.
yeah,
Like
yeah. When you do
at
the
the end of
transfer
the
negotiations,
day,
right?
yeah, we know
Yeah.
that it happened. Yeah, we know that it happened.
Yeah, so see, now it puts PSG at a financial disadvantage, right? Because where they could come in and say, "Bro, he should go for 250. He should be the highest transfer ever." Like I think bro. I watched a man score a hat trick in the fucking World Cup final. You know what I'm saying? Like they could not they could not mark him. You know what I'm saying? Like so, um,
There's also the other aspect too, right? Or goal of I think Mbappe is due like an 80 million roster bonus in August. I want to say first
August
or
1st,
third.
literally August 1st. Yep, that's
Yeah. So it makes sense for them if they're going to just hold him out for the year of to try to get that transfer done as soon as possible before they owe him that 80 million.
So the problem with it, more so than anything else, is that in football, in order to execute the transfer, the player has to agree to terms with the club
Yep,
that
personal
you're trying to
terms,
play
right?
at. Which
Wage.
is just
Yeah.
one of those things too that, like, even if they get a decent offer from, say, a Premier League club, he's just not going to agree to terms with that club. So that he's literally binding them right now. Like they're very strapped on what they can do. They can do two things. Realistically, they can do two things. Three things. They can try to spur up negotiations again with the Saudi club and sit down with him again and see if he'll negotiate with them because he hasn't agreed to it. Option two is to have him basically just sit out the year. And option three is to say, okay, Madrid, fuck y'all, because first of all, the two clubs have a really, really bad relationship. And I'm not talking about just the business relationship. I'm talking about shit being really personal. If anyone watched the Champions League 2 years ago when Madrid matched up with them and some of the shit that happened with the sporting director and security and police getting involved after the match, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of bad blood between the two clubs. So to actually discuss is a stretch for them. But they can go, okay, then what are you willing to give us for understanding that there's 1 year left on his contract? And if Madrid's saying, because remember, now this is a totally different situation, but don't forget that Holland got transferred to City from Dortmund last year for 60 million euros. Think about that. Think about that, right?
yeah.
That's fucking absurd. You're talking about a top 3 player in the world, and look what he did his first year. Generational stuff, right? In terms of breaking records his first year at City. But that's the type of shit that you don't really see. A player like that going for 60. I understand there was other rights and fees that were
Yeah,
involved.
it's Dortmund too, right? Their
But it doesn't get
business is different.
add,
But yeah.
add up to like 100 and even over 100. So they could basically go, okay, what are you willing to give? And Madrid could say, we'll give you 120. That's it. We'll give you 120. We'll give you 100. We'll flip the value that we've basically quadrupled from Camavinga in 2 transfer windows and the
Yeah.
Casemiro sale and all of that. And fuck it, we got the money. We'll do it, right? That's the three possible scenarios that you're looking at right now. Number 3 and 2 being the most likely.
And
So let me
this
ask
is
this
like
question, right? So somebody was saying about how Mbappe's $776 million was just like image rights and all of this other bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's not a real $776 million. Now, what if they say we will give you 350 PSG and Mbappe, we're going to give you $776 million in cash, straight cash money for 1 year. Do you think he turns that down?
Say the cash value again.
$776 million
With the Saudi club.
with the Saudi club. So why won't they offer that though? They got more money than God. Like, why not from 1 year?
I think it just comes
So
down to him
giving
not
him
wanting to
100.
play there,
That's
right?
assuming you're giving him 100% ownership of the image rights.
Yeah, so fuck the image rights. We'll give you the image rights. It doesn't even matter, right? Like, so. Oh, he did disrespect them. Saudis don't like when you disrespect them like that, bro. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the thing, right? That's kind of like a cultural thing. That's like not really involved with many transfers because we usually don't deal with these type of
yeah.
clubs. But yeah, now he basically brushed them off, right? And you think about how much their money has been able to talk, especially this transfer window. I mean, they might, and then obviously, there is obviously a financial benefit of having a percentage of the image rights, but that's not really the bigger issue. Yeah, they
So
might just be like, well, fuck this guy.
part that I missed because Adele is saying that they sent one of the princes to. So this
Yeah,
is a prince that's
they
probably
sent
worth
dudes to
$10
Paris. So
billion or some shit, you know? And some guy's gonna turn them down, not even meet with them. That's kind of disrespectful. Have them fly all the way from
yeah,
fucking
yeah. Yo, he didn't. Yeah,
Riyadh to
he didn't
fucking
sit down.
Paris and
He
meet with
literally
you,
didn't sit
bro.
down with them. Like no conversations were had.
Yeah, bro. That's like a 5 hour flight. So you fly all the way there 5 hours, and motherfucker don't want to meet with you. Like, come on, bro.
But don't rule out though. If that's just Al Hilal, right? That's the name of the
Yeah.
club. Don't rule out another one of these clubs getting involved in the Saudi league. If it ends up being one of those situations where PSG can get him to sit down with one of these clubs, they might be out the window. But there could definitely be another one. No one's got the money like these guys do. So you can't be like, oh, what if it's one of the bigger clubs in the Chinese league, for example? They made some big signings back in the day from Brazilian players. No, man, like no one's got money like these guys right now. So it could certainly just be another Saudi club. I just don't think that
Yeah.
that's at this point. I don't see that as being as a likelihood.
Yeah, so I don't think like I don't view it as like a club, like one club. Bro, like that money, the transfer money is coming from one pot. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's the same pot, man. It's just
bro, it's the
distributed in
same pot.
different,
It's not like it's
yeah,
1 billion.
different burners. Same pot,
Bro, it's
bro.
not like it's one billionaire in a country versus
Yeah.
another. Bro, like they're trying to prop up their league. So I completely understand. Like they're in a tourism push right now, so they're trying to do whatever they're trying to do. So um completely understand that, but that's an interesting update, bro.
Yeah, so the development really as a recap,
Yeah.
because I know a lot of people aren't too following football too much and all that.
No, bro, that's
So,
that's super interesting
but
because
yeah, development is the 250 price tag that they put for Madrid today.
and Messi's the ambassador of tourism. Yeah, I do know that because when we were at the World Cup final, yeah, they were talking about that angle as well about how he had some relationship with the Qataris and the Qataris and the Saudis have some kind of beef. So yeah,
And by the way, this is funny. This is almost exactly like the Anthony Davis situation, right? Where it's either you're gonna get something back from me, or I'm gonna leave for free next year, and you're still paying me this fat sum of money either way.
yeah, yes. So this is why teams don't want collusion. You know what I'm saying? Because now PSG is at a massive disadvantage. But you know what though, bro? I always thought they gave Mbappe way too much. You know what I'm saying? Like they gave him way too much control from day one, bro.
So Urkel, that's a fair point, and where this came from and how it was really heightened was last season's transfer window. It's funny because, and like, if you're a PSG fan, and obviously the people that are working there, that are
Yeah,
involved in these negotiations. I mean, look, like we can say a lot of things about the club, right? In terms of them kind of being a joke in Europe, but
yeah,
look, man, like at the end of the day, like he did them dirty because at last year they were in a very, very similar situation. Not the same situation, but a very, very similar situation with Madrid. But the difference was he was up for contract talks. And
hmm
he signed that extension. And part of the reason that one of the couple biggest factors, besides financially, obviously he got paid a ton per year, was the amount of control that Urkel is referring to that they gave this guy
yep,
to the club. We're talking about like sporting director level of control and influence over a club as a player. in the club, something that we've literally never seen before. Like influence and very much like a lot of pull as to who the next manager is going to be that they hire, and so many of these other things, right? That usually is like things that can certainly be discussed with players, like Messi, for example, at Barcelona. He had that type of say, but nothing was written down. There was no like equity at stake, so to speak, from a contractual standpoint, and they gave him all of those things, right? And literally the next season, this is where we're at. So that's why they're so upset with him, and that's why things are where they are because of the contract that he literally signed last summer.
And
That's really what's making
Oh
things
yeah,
worse for
yeah.
PS.
So
and
Perez,
to add to that real quick, they also gave him a lot of tactical freedom on the pitch as well. He basically got to pick his role of what he wanted to play, what he was most comfortable with. So yeah, this level of freedom that he got was unprecedented
Un,
on and off the.
un, like literally completely unheard of in any situation. Messi didn't even have that at Barcelona.
that Luis Figo, bro, like the Luis Figo Real Madrid Barcelona shit, bro. Like I remember that being like at the time, I don't know, it's probably like in my early or my late teens, bro. Like that shit was so crazy at the time with Figo going to fucking Madrid from Barcelona, right? Like the last time I was in Barcelona was 2017, and they had like riots in Barcelona at the time because Barcelona, like the Catalan region, they're trying to gain independence from Spain. Like if you go to Barcelona, they damn near have two flags there. You know what I'm saying? Like you see a lot of people in protest, and from their balconies they have like two flags. So they're trying to gain independence from fucking Spain. So they're
Yep.
always clashing and rioting and all types of shit, man. So that pretty much happened um, like not too long ago. This was 2017, so that's 6 years ago. Uh, so I couldn't imagine what it was like when fucking Luis Figo leaves Barcelona and he goes
Yeah.
to Madrid. You know what I'm saying? That's like years on years of like civil unrest basically, and then it ties into like the football thing. So
That's why the Clasico is as big as it is. There's always a political factor of
yeah,
everywhere.
bro.
Ali, I'm not blaming Mbappe. PSG is certainly to blame here. They're the ones that gave him that much control and that much
Yeah,
power. Then they had political leaders and shit getting involved to get him to sign the contract. You gave him that much control of your club. You're gonna end up being responsible for the consequences of it later. This is what ends up biting you in the ass when you know that at the end of the day he's only 24 and he's gonna want to push for the move. The thing that bit him in the ass is that literally the next summer he pushed for the move. It was something that is known to be inevitable. They
yeah,
gave him so much to delay the process. This is 100% on PSG.
yeah. Like Mbappe always had, bro. He doesn't want to fucking play at PSG, bro. Like he wants to compete for Champions League year in year out. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's going to happen in the Farmers League. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, you ain't
He,
winning.
he started getting
Or
bounced in the first round of
yeah,
16.
bro.
so
They
it would
should,
go
bro.
ahead.
They PSG should have a better team than that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So they put together the what was supposed to be the greatest front three of all time, right? And they couldn't get past the quarters,
yeah,
semis, I guess, in one of the years.
yeah.
So,
So I just feel
like,
like
I'm sorry, I have no sympathy for them.
yeah,
Like,
bro. It's almost like they threw James Harden, KD, and Kyrie Irving on the same team. You know what I'm saying? And it would be like, go ahead and win. And then, yeah, but we have like other positions that need to be addressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, next thing you know, you're looking at them and teams are killing them in the midfield. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, so that was their biggest weakness because they put a lot of money into their back line.
yeah,
They did add Ramos. They did pay a ton to get Hakimi, who is, by the way, still a generational right back. He's just in a
yeah,
bad fit. But that was their biggest weakness is they thought that Marco Verratti was going to be able to control the midfield for them. Then start going up against these clubs like Bayern Munich, like Real Madrid, and they're just dominating you in the midfield. And none of the players in your front three are that committed to pressing. you're just sitting back and you're not able to distribute and counterattack at all. And eventually, you just end up there. They played with no system. They play
And
with just we're just going to play off of the talent of these dudes that we have, and
and
Verratti's going to be able to set the tempo for us in the midfield, and there he is going to a Saudi club right now for like 60 million. So
Yeah.
it's
and
they're
to add to
that's where
that,
they're
AK, right? Like they've also fired and hired about what is it? At least I know at least 2 to 3 managers, right, over the
Mhm.
course of these last
Yeah,
2 years. So
yeah,
how are you supposed to even get tactical stability, right? When you're
yeah,
when you're literally firing, Tuchel
yep,
after like Champions League or I think it was prior to there, right? Like next
yeah.
round of Champions League. So like
And so
stuff like that.
the issue with that too is so when you see that much movement from managers within like 2 to 3 seasons for a club, right? Like Chelsea has kind of gone through that at times. That's when you know that like that's just not what they're looking for. They're looking for a presence to be able to control the locker room, right? They know that they think that they have the talent for what it takes. That they don't need a system to be implemented over a long period of time or even over the course of one season. They really think that they can get it done if they have the right locker room presence, and they keep trying to find that guy, and they
Yeah.
never found that guy. Right? They were looking for they were looking for basically. Actually, funny enough, I want to say the equivalent of a Zidane, but that's insulting a little bit to Zidane because he did set some really really good tactics at Madrid. But they were actually funny enough. They were looking at Zidane, and they tried to get Zidane last summer. They wanted Zidane more than anybody else, and he wasn't wanting to do that. He just
Yeah.
wasn't open to it. So.
People used to clown Zidane, bro, but I actually think Zidane is a genius. You know what I'm saying?
Zidane is a genius. Zidane is legitimate. Like people that say that, like a lot of times you hear it's coming from Barcelona fans and like Madrid haters. But if you actually break down like the way that they played, and not only like tactically on the field, but his
Yeah.
ability to keep that dressing room steady. You never heard for those years. You never heard a peep come out of that locker room of any type of internal conflicts with Ronaldo and Ramos and Marcelo and
Yeah.
Casemiro, Cruz and Benzema and all these high profile guys. There certainly were players that were lower tier that did get alienated those years. Players that ended up kind of over progressively getting alienated, like a
Yeah.
D. But that wasn't a Zidane thing. That was a Marcelo and Ramos
Adele is
bullying
saying that.
fools in training thing. That yo, if you ain't ready, then you ain't ready. We're competing
Yeah.
on a different level, dog, than the rest of the world. So if you're not staying up to that, then you shouldn't be here. That was never a Zidane thing. And by the way, that mentality is the reason why they won 3 Champions Leagues under Zidane.
Yeah.
Don't forget
Adele
that.
is saying that Zidane is just vibes.
Nah, nah. Zidane is. We
Oh,
can
that's
we
pretty
can do a
funny.
playback film session to break down Zidane tactics if you really want
4-4-2 and good vibes.
to. Nah, man.
Oh
We can break
shit.
that down if you really want to break it down. Even a guy who got alienated in the dressing room a little bit, like a Bale, was still able to put up pretty ridiculous production under Zidane. So you have to really think about that, right? There's just a lot of context to it.
Yeah. Nah, man, that's good stuff. Hey, but Space Gang ain't about, just the dubs, bro. We can fucking break down any goddamn sport. Ask me to break down fucking cricket, I'll break down fucking cricket for you, dog. So we talk about everything in here. So I appreciate y'all for tapping with me today, bro. Like my water is gone, and I was like, let me just hop on Spaces. Ricky G hopped on. Next thing you know, I'm on there for like 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all, but I'm gonna hop off and I'm gonna find some stuff to do. But I don't know if anyone's gonna do a playback later, but if they do, I'll probably hop on. So I am gonna check out with y'all, bro. But thank you again.
All right, gang. Peace. Y'all have a great day. Have a good
All
weekend.
right, man. Have a good one.
Peace.